guys? Welcome to the ASL with Tasteless and Artosis. We got two great players, but I think one definitely overshadows the other one. That's one way to put it.
That's like a fun way to put it. You think one of them overshadows the other one. I'm trying to think of some sort of analogy or metaphor for this. It's like Flash is the universe, and I Am Mong is a singular galaxy.
Yes,
okay,
that's a good way to put it.
One galaxy means nothing in the face of the universe, Tasteless. Nothing.
Flash is obviously the favorite to move on here, but it's definitely a situation where we can't underestimate Mong. Now, Flash should win probably 3-0, but Mong did get this far.
Yeah.
So let's see what he's got in store. He's had a lot of time to prepare. He's definitely a crafty player, and Protoss can be pretty sneaky against Terran early on.
Yeah, and I do have to say, in the round of 16, in the round of 24, he made it through the group, and it was like, okay, well, it's the round of 24. There's a bunch of jobbers that are going to get knocked out here. But the round of 16 was full of just quite good players, and he played really well. He kind of seemed like his former self, this guy formerly known as Gyumchi. But he looked extremely strong. So if he's kept that up, he does have a shot tonight.
He really does.
But, Flash
It would be
scary.
surprising. In some ways, it would be disappointing if Flash were to lose, since he basically is the guy when it comes to Brood War. Everybody else is second.
If Flash loses this, it's almost like
it's weird.
The tournament opens up hugely, and it's
we have to
tournament.
completely reevaluate how we're understanding Brood War in its current state. So we are over here in the upper right side of the bracket. Terran versus Protoss tonight. This is a best of 5. Do not forget to join us on Tuesday. We will have Stork versus Jadon.
The match of the tournament so far, best of 5 between these two, is going to be crazy. And then, of course, the winner will go on the following week to play against possibly Flash if he takes out Mong tonight. So that's
dude, if Mong wins, it's going to be so weird.
It's so wild.
It's going to be so weird.
Well, if I Am Mong wins, it's we don't know what'll happen in the round after that, but I would imagine Stork or Jadong would take him out.
Well, if he beats Flash, then I think you have to actually assume that Mong is going to win the entire tournament. But just to be fair, now Flash, one of the reasons why, obviously, we're expecting him to win, it's not just that he's very good, especially mid-game and late game, it's that he really doesn't die early on. Anyways, we have an interview with our two players. Let's see what their thoughts are before we start this match.
지금부터 8강 세 번째 경기에 출전하는 두 주인공인 이영호, 김승현 선수와 이야기
So let's meet our two
나눠보겠습니다.
players.
안녕하세요.
This is Flash. Hello. And Mong. Hello.
먼저 이영호 선수에게 물어볼게요. 2시즌 연속으로 8강 진출에 성공을 하셨는데 지난 시즌은 좀 아쉬운 시즌이었을
So the
것
round of 8 for
같아요.
2 straight
이번 시즌
seasons.
어떻게 자신 있으신가요?
Last season you were eliminated.
예, 지난
Tell us about that.
8강에서 3대0으로 김승현 선수한테 떨어져서
So I lost 3-0
이번
last season.
시즌에는
I was honestly very disappointed.
되풀이하지 않고 꼭 이번에는 무조건 4강 진출할 수 있도록 하겠습니다.
But I'm going to advance to the semifinals this time around for sure.
자신 있는 모습인데요. 김승현 선수에게 여쭤볼게요. 김승현 선수는 ASL 테란 전적이 5승 1패로 아주 좋은 상황이에요.
5 wins, 1 loss against Terran in the ASL.
이영호 선수거든요. 네.
But it's a totally different beast here against Flash. What do you think? Yes, it'll be a very difficult match for me. But as a professional gamer, look, I'm just going to have to do my best.
이기러 왔다.
I came here to win.
이영호 선수를 이기러 왔다. 강한 자신감을 표출해주고 계십니다.
Huge crowd, by the way. Just huge.
만년 블랙 하신다고. 아니 그거 어떻게 된 건가요? 해명해 주시죠.
진짜 근데 조진현 거 볼 때 진짜 영어만 걸리지 마라 했는데 서현진님이 직접 영어를 뽑으시더라고요. 그것도 해맑게
During that group selection, I just wanted to avoid Flash.
그 당시에 약간
But I was really sad to see
강하셨다.
when Flash was drawn out of the box.
The only question is, was he praying to Flash?
That's right.
For that.
김승현 선수입니다. 이영호 선수, 김승현 선수와 이제 개인 방송에서 스폰 매치나 이런 거를 통해서 또 경기의 전적이 앞서고 있잖아요.
네.
최근에 진행된
So he played some matches online. He says yes.
승리하셨는데 김승현 선수의 이제
So you currently have a
약점이라고
winning record against
생각하는
Diamond.
어느 부분이 있을까요?
Any specific weaknesses you
언제
found?
어디서
네.
경기력이 어떻게 될지 모른다는 그런 약간 누굴 만나든지 반대로
Sometimes he's a really good player and sometimes he's not.
경기력이 들쭉날쭉하세요.
It's a little bit hard to figure out where he's going to be
그래가지고
at,
제가
or I guess
방심을
where his true
오히려 안 하게
skill
되는
is.
것 같아요. 진짜 저도 질 수 있다는 생각으로 왔고요.
네.
그래서 정말 열심히 준비해왔고 방심 안 하고 열심히 하겠습니다.
There's a good chance that I could lose today, to be honest. I'm going to have to do my very best.
네, 그런 말씀을 해주셨죠. 그렇다면 이제 김승현 선수는 스폰을 통해서 이영호 선수랑 또 많이 붙어보셨잖아요. 분석을 좀 하셨나요?
제가 그 스폰전
So what are your thoughts on someone like Flash?
거의 1년 동안 제가 4승 21패를 했더라고요. 근데 오늘 올라가려면
I've got 4 wins and 22 losses against him online.
4승 21패.
That was just through 2016. I only won 4 matches against him, so I got to win at least 3 tonight.
라인이
So
오히려
it's
더
going to be very
자신이
hard.
있다. 오, 역시 강력한 자신감입니다.
But it is an
이영호
offline
선수는
tournament. I hope
이제
it'll be
또 현역
different.
시절에 다전제에서 강한 모습을 또 보여줬잖아요. 다전제를
You're very strong
오래
in
끌지
multi-set
않고
matches.
금방 끝내는 그런 모습을 보여주셨는데 오늘 이만은 가고
Tend to end the games very quickly.
부탁드립니다.
제가 개인적으로 제 실력에 항상 자신이 있어가지고 다전제하면 잘했던 것 같아요.
I'm always confident in
게임을
myself.
많이 할수록 아무래도
I'm also always confident in the more games I have to play, especially as each game goes on. I feel I'm building my confidence even more. So, since I got knocked out last season, I was really disappointed. I felt bad for my fans. I'm going to try my very best this season, and I'm going to bring back my old self.
네. 한 말씀 덕담 한마디 해주시죠.
Anything you'd like to say to I am Mom?
수현이 형은 게임 실력 빼고 저보다 다 가졌으니까 여자친구분도 예를 들어서 그러시고 뭐 그러시니까
I know you've got a girlfriend, and you've got a lot more going on in life than this tournament.
꼭 제가 이겼습니다.
빨리 보내드리겠다.
I hope you get to go on a date after losing to me tonight.
데이트 하시라고 빨리 보내드리겠다. 네. 가정우 선수의 말씀이었고요. 또 김승현 선수도 화답하셔야죠.
데이트 하려면 기분 좋게 해야 되거든요.
오,
이기고 가겠습니다.
네.
I got to be happy. I got to be in a good mood if I want to go on a date tonight. So I got to beat you.
하는 게 정말 영광으로 생각하고 스타크래프트
It is an honor to play against Flash, though. In all seriousness, look, he's the best StarCraft 1 player there is. So I'm really going to try to do my very best to try to create some epic matches.
지금까지 이영호 선수와 김승현 선수 만나봤습니다. 그럼 두 선수가 경기를 펼칠 오늘의 맵을 화면으로 확인해 보시죠.
All right, that does it.
Okay. So there we have it. Mong knows it's a hard road, and it's a hard road indeed.
I didn't realize they were 4 and what was it, 22?
Yeah, no, I guess that's just their online matches that they played against each other.
I mean, 4 wins though against Flash is pretty damn good.
Yeah, no, that's 4 more than I got.
Yeah.
So it looks like it'll be Eye of the Storm, Circuit Breaker, Demian 2, Benzene, then of course Eye of the Storm to finish up.
We always have
We make
the
it that
first
far.
map be the last map as well.
Yeah.
So you go full circle here. Anyways, guys, we're about to get this match started, so sit tight, tell your friends to join us. That music in that video, Artosis, it sounded like pirates looking for treasure initially.
Yeah.
And then it was eventually into the Curse of the Mummy's Tomb by the end.
So basically what you're telling me is that was a Pirates of the Caribbean trailer there.
Yes.
Because we got both those right in that one.
Well, let's see what Mong has in store. Again, so many dirty tricks Protoss can pull out at the start of a PBT. The thing about Flash is that he basically doesn't lose to him. That's kind of it's one of the many factors why he's such an inspiration to so many Terran players. Is he just he just doesn't really lose to stuff early on, and it's even rarer that he loses to stuff in the late game.
He generally deflects everything, and you have to straight up outplay him, which is almost impossible because he doesn't really have holes, and there isn't anyone better at macro than him. So it's like very, very, very difficult to get him knocked out, especially when he's in form like right now. Like last season, he was kind of new back. He played against Last, who's a fantastic TVT player. And when you're using the same units as Flash, and it's so positional like in TVT, it's maybe a little bit easier to kill him off in a situation like that. But this is like, I mean, this is the most monstrous gamer ever to have lived, playing his game in front of his fans, in his studio, in his city,
in his world, in his universe,
in his country, in his world.
He is a god.
Yeah.
Now, look, I'm going to say this, I'm going to upset a lot of people probably, but there is a chance Mong wins this. We have to actually acknowledge the fact that if he does win, that changes everything.
Well, that's just, I don't even want to think about it, because I'm like, what would that be? Like, how
it'll be weird. It'll be very, very weird.
It would be a bizarre thing if he is able to take down Flash. Like, the thing is, he played very well in the last round. Like, I can't stress that enough. I watched his games and I was like, damn, he's in shape. That looks good.
Well, and this is the dream. You get to play against Flash. You have the option. You have the opportunity to possibly eliminate Flash. That'd be the greatest moment in your entire StarCraft career.
Yeah, it would be. If he goes on to the top 4 by beating
it would be one of the biggest upsets of all of esports. See, this guy knows. That's right. Rock and roll. Rock and roll, baby.
That must be someone.
Look, they're all nodding.
Him, though.
I like the nodding as well.
Okay.
All right. Look, this is the dream, man. If you could take down Flash in a packed studio, the world is watching. That's huge. That's really exciting.
How dirty would he have to be to do it? Because I don't foresee him playing long macro games and taking Flash out, right?
I don't think so.
No, it's pretty hard to imagine.
I mean, it's possible he could gimp Flash and then win in a longer game, but that's sort of the same thing as doing a cheese.
How is he going to break Flash's kneecaps in 3 out of 5 games? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, that's the big question. Let's see. We're going to be checking for where that first probe goes to see what kind of opening he's going to do. Flash, probably going to go up with more traditional builds. Anyways, guys, tell your friends to join us. Tonight, we have Flash versus Mong. The winner of this best of 5 moves on to the final. What is it, Final Four? Final Four. I had to second guess myself. What tournament is this? This is Quake we're casting, right? Sorry, guys. All right. And at the bottom right, in the purple, we have Flash.
Doesn't even need both hands.
Staying hydrated. In the upper right, in the brown, our Protoss player, I am Mong.
No, you're not. You're tasteless.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
Already, I don't see any probes out on the middle of the map.
No, not yet.
Not yet.
Well, as you said, there's like a lot of different ways that you can try to cheese out your opponent, try to be aggressive, and it's not just proxy gates. Like, those are almost the most predictable. Sometimes it's things like DT drops or Reaver plays that can do very well.
Yeah.
Hell, there's like a bunch of like weird gateway-centric builds. Like, for instance, White Raw's special tactics. Everyone always memes that, but they don't actually know what it means.
That was actually
it's 6-gate charge law.
Yeah. You cut probes, so they're taking your third base, so you just overwhelm them while they're taking their third, kill off all the tanks.
Yeah, and I mean, stuff like that is actually the stuff that Flash would be least prepared for. Like, if you bust out like some really old weird cheese, like a Bulldog, like a special tactics build, something like this, because pros don't use that stuff.
Right.
Because if it's scouted, if you kind of figure out what it is, it's super easy to stop.
So,
but that might be his way to victory.
I do want to, in some ways, cast this from the perspective of Mong, because I would love to try to figure out how you could beat Flash in a best of 5. You know what I mean? It's fun to, like, for us to backseat game this and be like, all right, like, if we had to advise how to take out Flash, like, what are the strats you really do want to pick, right?
You know, when I like your idea, but when you first said that you want to cast this from the view of Mong or whatever, I was like, game 1. I'm only 2 minutes in and already my hands are shaking.
I feel my heart pounding in my stomach.
Minute 5. Flash's SCV is in my base. Probes are faster and stronger, but I'm afraid that he might take my probe out.
Every time he circles my Nexus,
Minute
I
7.
feel a little bit more despair.
Minute 7, there are spider mines on the map. I don't have enough observers to deal with this. I'm going to stay in my base.
Well, we got Flash going for his making an entrance right over there outside of his expansion, and same with the pylon here. So this is here to actually, this is cute. So the pylon and the probe in this position does do a complete and total wall. Now what that means is that Protoss can tech to whatever they want. Now, does that mean they're going to actually do some kind of greedy DT rush or go for a quick robo? Maybe not. Maybe they just go for some standard Dragoons and force Flash to over defend. That's one of the better strats you can do, especially at high-level play, is if you make it look like you're doing something crazy, and then you just play a normal game.
Yeah, no, that's the cheesiest thing a cheeser can do is play a macro game. That is a very, very old quote, and it is quite true.
It's very true.
If you are playing someone that you know you are better than, and you are so sure that they're going to cheese, and then they just play like a little bit greedy and go into macro. Yeah. Suddenly you're like having missile turrets, and you played safe, and you're just sitting in your base, and then that's the real cheese right there, Tasteless.
He hit a pylon up here. That's funny. Now he's not keeping the probe there either.
Now that came out at a funny angle, so Flash will check, yeah.
God, Flash is good.
Yeah.
God damn, this guy is so good.
The angle that was coming when the SCV came in, you got to look at that and be like, well, you weren't scouting the main. That's not what that probe was doing, that's for sure.
So Protoss can set up pylons throughout the map just to spot for stuff. Sometimes they'll make a pylon somewhere in the hopes that the other player, if they do scout them, will see a missing pylon and assume cheese. Yeah. But it actually looks like we're not having anything cheesy just yet. It's going to be Dragoon Nexus, but it's definitely been set up so that if Terran were to attempt to scout this and not get in, they would have no idea what's going on.
And a pylon like that in these spots, like there's definitely a chance that just doesn't get killed all game long. Like it takes forever for like a vulture to kill that, and you're not going to waste vultures up there. There's no reason.
Unlike in StarCraft 2, it's actually much harder to kill pylons in the middle of the map. So a lot of these pylons placed throughout the game in StarCraft 2 is actually, this is a concept that came from StarCraft 1 that was a little bit more applicable because you really want to put stuff out on the map just to see where they're moving. Yeah. You want to have all your eyes on the opposing player.
By the way, a swift little scout here by Iamong. He was actually going around where the Marines are at, but Flash calculated that his probe should have been there by then, so he actually pulls back immediately. Like, the thing is, when you play StarCraft 1 as much as these guys have, when he sees the probe anywhere moving, he knows exactly how long for it to hit the bottom left and hit his base. So, you know, it's quite an awesome and strong move, but just throwing that out there that these guys have so many timers in their heads for when things are going to happen.
So, 2016 build here for Flash, just getting that expand up. Does take that SCV out, which is actually a pretty big deal. So, when you do a build like this, as Terran, Protoss will put the Dragoons out there, and he wants to try to damage the bunker. The goal is not to try to kill him here. It's to force SCVs to repair. You basically know, this is harkening back to the very early days of Terran vs. Protoss, where people eventually figured out you had to wall in as Terran, get a couple Marines, survive the Dragoon rush, repairing stuff, and then the game goes on.
And if you never did anything like this, like you never pressured with any Dragoons, then the Terran can skimp on tanks more. Because realistically, like, tanks are the muscle, especially for the late game. Like, you actually want to be able to make vultures if possible. You know, they're kind of the units that are, you know, quicker. They're going to get you reconnaissance. They can possibly do harassment damage. Right. So it's just really good overall. And Flash, I do believe, is getting siege mode here. If he's not, he's going to need to send a tank. Yeah. Okay, so he does grab that siege mode, and now he's completely safe.
So siege mode is usually when the player does end up retreating after that. So, you know, this is all par for the course in TVP. It's funny that Terrans are able to expand this way, because back when we played, that was just like not really possible. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was really hard for Terrans to actually hold on, because it would be the range Dragoon pressure, and a lot of the maps as well, like the flatter maps at the natural, even with the siege tank, you'd run in and get them, like snipe the tank and stuff. So, anyways, we have an observer working its way down, and the Citadel has already been started for Iamong, so we're not 100% sure exactly what he's going for yet. Scan goes down and sees exactly what the tech is.
So we have seen a lot of people rush to Arbiters, which can be quite good. It's easier said than done for sure. You're actually cutting a lot of corners when you try to do this. Now, the Observer does come in here. This is a very important scout right now for Protoss. He comes in over the factories. He wants to get an idea of how many factories are being made and how many add-ons are being made. Is Terran getting the upgrade? And it looks like Flash right now is going for that starport along with the armory and just getting a bunch of tanks and vultures. Now, this can actually hard counter an Arbiter rush because a lot of times you don't have the shuttle with the Zealots in it. You don't have Zealot legs up in time. So what Monk's doing, Monk's going to dive forward.
This is a really great move. He's trying to take out all these tanks, and he will kill all these tanks here. This is a problem for Flash.
Wow, I can't believe that actually worked.
Huge reset.
That was so sick.
Yeah.
Okay, Monk's got a real fighting chance now.
Yeah,
he
that was a great
was
move.
it 3 tanks back there?
He got like 4 tanks.
4 tanks, wow.
And that was so nice. That was like, the thing is, Flash scanned, saw 2 gates and some tech buildings up. That was basically non-stop Dragoon production.
Yeah.
This game. Like, he was very steady, very solid on producing Dragoons, and then he had such a number that he was able to kind of catch Flash off guard there.
So that was the only way that Protoss can actually deal with a rush like that. When the tanks are coming out with the Vultures, if they get set up outside your base, you just lose.
Yeah.
The Dragoons can't combat it, but he came in while that army was in transit, shot that down, and then ran back away.
And, this is a real problem for Flash. He might have to just back this up, because I know that he's got the 4 facts, and it looks like he wants to be aggressive, but he's on one of these one machine shop builds, which means that tanks increment out extremely slowly, and to lose a good 4-ish tanks right off the beginning, you actually don't have enough muscle to go across the map. Pure Dragoons will kind of beat it. And then not charge, but speed finishes for the Zealots, and it's like game over. You've lost too many Vultures trying to protect your siege tanks against Dragoons, and then the charge lot, or speed lots will finish it up.
Now he's got the shuttle over here. This is probably full of Zealots, I think. But he looks like he's going to just use this to try to scout. This is kind of funny. He'll probably draw. Oh, no, DTs. Oh, that's cool. Okay. So this is a very different way of playing than what I'm used to seeing with quick arbiters. But yeah, getting the shuttle with the DTs. Now, what the shuttle does is it forces Terran to scan. In another way, it also forces a Goliath out, which they don't really want as many of. You want as the minimum Goliaths possible. But he's going to be burning scans. Terran's been on 2 command centers for a while. So burning these scans up means the arbiters are going to be stronger later. So, I got to say, Monk's playing a really smart game.
Yeah, no, I do like everything he's doing. And this is one of the, a very interesting thing that we saw, especially with the Dragoons, right? He's getting funny amounts of units at funny times and making moves with them. And stuff like that can be extremely tricky because StarCraft gets so mapped out that you're sometimes not used to seeing these units this time. 2-base Arbiter Rush, do you normally see a DT drop with that kind of mid-game? It's not even an aggressive one. It's just kind of like flying around, slowing you down.
It's there as a tool more than a tactical or offensive style coming in here. So that's pretty smart. But again, remember the theme, guys. Terran are limited in scans. He's going to be reliant on the Science Vessel. Sometimes when you do 2-base Arbiter, it sounds weird, but stay with me, guys. Sometimes it's more important to stasis that first vessel when they're out than it is to stasis the tanks, because you've actually powered up a lot. And if they miss 1 or 2 scans, or they don't have enough scans because you're dropping those DTs,
but the second you don't have detection, you lose the game. Like you absolutely must make sure you either have enough scans, a vessel that's not going to get frozen, or turrets.
Right,
and that's it.
Exactly.
So, by the way, he has a dropship and he loaded up with 2 tanks, so he might be trying one of these moves where you run around the map with Vultures to follow the 2 siege tanks, and you can set up these really difficult positions for Protoss to break through if you do that. I don't know if that's exactly what he's planning, but he did load up 2 siege tanks, so yeah, I think that's on the left-hand side. Yeah, that's siege tanks in there. This is a really cool move that he's trying to pull off right now.
Oh, he's going to ship the Vultures through here?
Yeah. Like, the Vultures are so fast.
This is something you like to do, actually, a lot.
Any Terrans that really like harassment will make usage of this quite a bit. Like, Fantasy is a Terran that does this a lot. I definitely did it a lot. But running around and just, you drop off the 2 siege tanks, you lay 1,000,000 spider mines, and it is the messiest thing for Protoss to clean up.
Now the Vultures are coming up here. He's going to drop the tank, so he's got this mobile push here. But there is an Arbiter here. He's going to have to scan, but note he can drop DTs over there. He knows, I'm sorry, there is a scan there.
Yeah, he did throw 1 scan down there, but this is not really doing what he wanted. He saw the Dragoons, so he's like, okay, let me see what I can pick off here. The Vultures are, okay to lose, So if he can trade a bunch of these for some Dragoons, that can be nice because Gemchi or Ayamong is kind of low on gas with this Arbiter Rush.
Here's if I get like super deep here, I think that actually is really bad that didn't do much of anything, especially because those tanks were lost earlier. He lost a lot of vultures. He didn't really trade well. He lost one tank. We don't know what the supplies are exactly because there is not the tabs or whatever that you would have to follow that. But I would suspect that compared to where Flash should be, he's much further behind the supply.
He's definitely behind where he should be in this game, but I would attribute most of that to the early game. And like he's already playing, especially considering he did that move, a very Turtle-esque style.
Yeah.
I don't expect to see him actually do an attack until he's maxed out or at least like 180, which is like kind of the same thing as maxed with mech. It doesn't change the power of the army that much, that last 20, but like, this is... I like that he's trying moves like that because he realizes he's behind. Look at this setup with the turret, the mines, even the depot out front. Like, this is an area that Gemchi is not likely to try to break.
You also have to keep in mind that the map in the center is very big and open, which is actually favored. EMP. Boom. Nicely done.
Well, that was good.
Denied that. We've been talking about this a lot, but I'm starting to think that Protosters should stop sending their Arbiters in randomly. It just seems like Terran either just kill it or they recall on mines.
Yeah.
Especially because Protoss don't have any way to know if Terran was efficient, whether or not there's mines there. It's like, well, this just seems like you're rolling dice at this point in time.
He is making a second Stargate, so maybe just mass Arbiters on the way here for...
I don't think you'd go carriers on this map. This does not look like a good map to go carriers on at all.
Yeah, and the way that his economy is and stuff, like if you can get to 4 carriers without Terran really screwing you up, then you're in a great spot.
If you get to 6,
is that something you can do?
6 is a lucky number.
Oh yeah,
if you get to 6, it's like you're probably going to win if they're not ready.
Yeah, well, what I'm trying to say, like if you have 2. That doesn't do anything.
It doesn't do anything.
2 doesn't do anything. Like, Terran's like, 2 carriers, okay, that's fine.
You attack them.
It just attacks through you with tanks.
If they attack your base is Terran with 2 carriers, you just make turrets, and then the carriers have to leave. They can't kill the SCVs fast enough. It's hilarious.
4 is really the number where they start to become scary for a Terran player. Anyways, he does prevent an expansion from Flash in the bottom left, so that's really nice. Flash still just sitting on 3 bases, whereas Ayamong is setting up even more. He's already got his 4th, and he's setting up a 5th with a ton of gates at the top left, which I love. The spread of gateways is so important.
I do want to point out, if we had covered up the IDs and you had showed anybody who's familiar with Brood War who's ahead, you would say Protoss.
Yes.
You would actually look at
Protoss is in a good spot.
Protoss is in a really good spot. Doesn't mean the game's over, but... And you know, now I'm very curious, how does Flash handle this? Because Flash has had some misses here at the start of this game.
Well, it's a super turtle game. As a Terran player here, you're going to look at this and say, okay, I have to make sure if he recalls, it's cost and efficient. And then I have to so carefully push this map. Like, Flash can't be losing stuff while he's pushing. It needs to be strong pushes, because Ayamong, if he breaks 1 push at this point, he should be able to take the game.
That was sick. Okay, he's actually going to be able to get all these vultures. This is going to be another loss, at least battle-wise, not necessarily game-wise here for Flash. He needs to get that wall and finished up over there. All right, I don't know if Flash is on top of this right now.
Yeah,
but
he's doing something else at the moment, macro round or something. But he will get in there with the vultures. They're not going to do a whole lot.
There was an observer down there. That's why he went for that recall. There was no mines placed down there. All right, Terran's moving out.
Okay,
we need to have good stasis.
This is really the moment right here. Flash has a ton of supply, but Ayamong has a ton of gateways, a bunch of arbiters in here as well.
Okay, stasis on the vessel.
Yeah, that's a very good move. There are 3 comm stats, so I wouldn't imagine that he's going to run out of detection here. And Flash is pushing him way, way back. Ayamong is taking his sweet time to move in on this.
Now, Mong may go around.
Yeah. If the vultures are in front, that means the vultures aren't behind. So if he hits the back of it, that is super strong.
Okay, he's going to go for a counter, it looks like. Now, this is, I think, okay because he has all these gateways up here.
Yeah.
But this game can really get turned on its head. Okay, now he's forcing Flash back. Now, ideally, he wants to intercept Flash as Flash turns around. Flash decides otherwise. And he might, in fact, go for a recall here. We saw the Arbiters moving over to the right. Excuse me, maybe he will not recall here.
Well, Flash is trying to set this up as cost efficiently as he can. He has a ton of mines here and a ton of turrets as well. And in fact, it looks like a lot of the observers will go down, which is nice. That makes his mines worth even more here. But Ayamong has way too much.
All right, Mong is coming down now. He's actually managed to breach this. If he can get into the main, that would be huge.
All right, he stasis some of the units coming back, but he needs to not engage that army. He continues to push forward, but he might get sandwiched here in a moment.
Okay, he's actually in a very good spot here. I don't know that he can actually breach the main, though. Now, if he can come over here and intercept these tanks, he needs to get the Arbiters over these tanks. A lot of scans have been spent.
Yeah, as long as he has enough scans, though, this is going to eliminate Mong's army. The thing is, he has enough time and enough gateways to remax pretty quickly here.
Yeah.
But he didn't kill many siege tanks with this, which
That's
I think is a
right.
big problem. This attack, like, it was kind of cool that he went for a counter and made Flash pull back because of that. But I almost feel like he stayed too long. When Flash turned around, Mong maybe should have just run out of there because, I mean, losing all of that and really only killing Flash's vultures off.
Yeah.
He didn't kill any infrastructure. He did, like, what did he really get there? He got a few siege tanks, but he lost, like, that was cost efficiently better for Flash.
He destroyed like a foothold, but
Yeah.
that doesn't really help that much. Now, Flash is going to take the center right base. Now, Mong, this is one of the most important parts of a 4-player map PvT. Mong has now constructed gateways in the bottom left. So having gateways down there is actually one of the ways. Oh, it's just one, but you know what? You can pump DTs from there. You'd be amazed, guys. On a 4-player map, the way to beat Terran usually is to go Arbiters and get gateways in all the other starting locations.
Yeah.
And just start to bleed the Terran out and suck up all the resources on the map. Look, that counterattack by Mong was not as good as it could have been.
Yeah.
I think that he handled that incorrectly. Now, Mong should be, I believe, close to maxing out again here.
Yeah, he has to be pretty close at this point. But
What are the upgrades to Protoss? It's
2-1.
2-1. So, you know, when you go for an Arbiter rush like this, you are behind on upgrades. That's important to know. So Terran is basically stronger later on if they didn't overextend when you had Arbiters.
And mech armies are just stronger than gateway armies, so, you know, that is why he has to bleed them out. That's why he has to make bases all over the place and gates all over the place, and slowly but surely over time whittle Flash down. Now, Mong moving a massive amount of units towards the center of the map.
He might actually go for it to try to sandwich this over here. Now, that's easier said than done. Remember, 12 units to a control group.
He's eliminating all the mines in the center. That's going to allow him much swifter army movement. And Flash actually going to back up. He's got to actually zone down a little bit because Mong has, like, wastable armies. If Flash loses those siege tanks he keeps moving around, the game is done. He can't win.
Now, he's in the way of a rally point, which is pretty huge. And we're going to have a recall over here. This is actually a great play. Check this. Oh, okay.
I don't know if this was
that was the one
maybe
that
he didn't have energy.
He said the wrong Arbiter. The other Arbiter was the one that was full.
Maybe he doesn't have recall. I don't know, man.
That can happen too.
We haven't seen a recall yet. It can happen for sure.
Okay. He's got more Arbiters out here. He's trying to reset the rallies over there. He needs to get this clump of tanks. Oh, man. He split the tanks off into 2 different locations.
Well, Flash definitely is going to lose all of these units. Out comes an EMP, which is very nice, but in comes the other one, and a pretty decent stasis. In fact, 2 stasises. Kind of interesting. That's like all the units. I'm not sure
I don't
exactly
know if that's how you want
that.
to do it exactly, because then the rest of the army just comes up once the stasis is done.
Yeah.
You want to use stasis to shave off part of the important units and then win the fight there. Are we going to have a stasis here on the science vessel?
Oh, with all these speed lots. Yeah, like if you had another stasis, that's a very good
That
one.
was really good.
But the Zealot's getting kind of wrecked right now by all of these vultures.
Yeah.
Definitely a few misplays here by Mong, who's actually, he had a great position, but now I'm looking at this and it's like, oh, you're getting close to dying here, friend.
Yeah, he's almost mined out his other bases besides his fresh one in the center right, but I don't know. I don't think that he can recover from here. He should not have frozen all those tanks either. He should have killed off some of them.
Killed all those and then had 2 stasises for the incoming army.
Yeah.
Which would have allowed him macro rounds to actually get units to kill the incoming army. So, like, I mean, that's a decision error right there.
I think Mong might have fallen apart here.
Yeah.
I don't. And this is really hard for Protoss because every gate has its own separate rally point.
Yeah.
So, like, when you're on top of their rally point, it's really bad. You're just basically bleeding off units.
Now, this game isn't 100% over, but it's getting very close. Like, Flash is in a commanding lead at this point, but still Mong has a good 4 mining bases. He still has a good amount of gateways over here and is rallying out a lot of Zealots. The thing is, Flash kind of sneak took that 5th base on the left.
Right.
And that's giving him so much economy right now to make
really
sure his
sad.
production
stays up. If he made even 1 Zealot or 1 DT to go over there, it could actually mean this game might go on.
Yeah, exactly.
But so Protoss is now in what we call refugee Protoss style. He's basically on the run. He's trying to hit these locations. Oh, he's trying to hit all these different locations, including this one. This is actually quite important.
Yeah, this is a very good move, actually. And
yeah.
Dragging the mine into these SCVs, he is going to lose a chunk of his economy, but Flash will clean up every single one of these Zealots.
Yeah, he might have actually sent too many Zealots over there.
Yeah, it feels like it was a few too many. Like, you just need to get through the mines and have a few left over to clean up SCVs.
But Terran's not mining for a little bit here. Problem is right now, Terran's army, is he at 3-3 yet? He might be.
Probably is, but I mean, 3-2 is just about as good.
Yeah.
3-2 is really, like...
Nicely done. One more storm, one more storm!
Come on.
Very good job.
Yeah.
You can warp that into an Archon now.
He's wrecking a lot of his economy, but Mong, he is down to 3 bases. He lost that 12 o'clock base.
Yeah. I think Mong handled this really well. You know, this is really hard for Protoss. When you get to this like certain part in the late game, it is tricky.
Mm-hmm.
If you like misplay and Terran basically captures or wipes out part of the map, you are like, it's so hard to play from there.
This is so much easier for him now. Units are only coming from the top left. And if you are only having units come from like one flank as Terran, that is a really great place to be in because, you know, Terran armies don't like to be flanked. They don't like things running around them. If it's all coming from the top left, like Flash can easily set up minefields, keep an eye on where things are coming in, and zone out the map. So
he's coming up now, trying to do as much damage as he possibly can, because this is the real mining base here for Terran. Oh, that's a bit desperate to try to target down the command center in the hopes that it wouldn't have repaired. GG. Nicely done. Okay, so you know what? Mong did a really good job back there, but he did not handle that initial push coming from Terran quite right.
Yeah, the counterattack where he got flanked, like, I like the counterattack. The thing is, his units saw Flash's army turn around eventually. If he either comes out with full force to engage that works out pretty well, or runs away, that can work out pretty well. Like, but he got sandwiched, he lost a big army.
Right.
Flash's next attack, though, where he had, like, Mong froze like 7 siege tanks with 2 stasises when he had all like speed zealots running towards them. He could have easily cleared those, then had stasises, as we were talking about, freeze the upcoming army. It gives him macro rounds, and then he crushes the upcoming army. Right. That was dealt with like really poorly by Mong.
Well, Mong has shown he's willing to play a straight-up PvT against Flash, and you know what? He held his own. He did not do a bad job.
His early PvT game was very
really
strong.
I even like the fact that he made it look like he was doing something sneaky and then did a very standard opener. It's stuff like that that's really important to do if you're going to beat a player like Flash. Every tool at your disposal you have to utilize, or you're not going to come out on top of a player like Flash. Now, Flash is up 1-0, very important in a best of 5. We're going to see in a little bit in Game 2 and the rest of our games what strats Mong's going to pull out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I hope it's kind of similar to what he's been doing, just kind of like funny amounts of units at funny times, catching Flash off guard, because he did open up with an advantage there. In fact, it did look for a while like he'd be able to take that game, but as the game got longer and longer, Mong made more mistakes than Flash, and Flash just worked his way right back in.
We are going to go to a short break. When we return, game number 2 with Flash versus Mong.
To lay my hands on you, I know the feeling is right, but I don't know if I'm through with you. You know my heart's held up, love come day by day, and I know the time is right to spend some nights with you. Do you want my love? Do you want my love? Solid out, don't you know? I can't wait any longer. Do you want my love? virtue like roses never fade. Someday, cracking the glass, wolves we have made in vain. Shall we judge? Be the last time affection belongs to you. And I know time is right. Spend some nights with you.
로드 모바일이라고 들어보셨습니까? 다른 사람들이랑 막 싸울 수도 있어요. 우리끼리 막 협동해가지고 싸울 수도 있어요. 서로 막 도와주고 시기 물고기. 쩔었다 이거. 이렇게 스킬도 쓸 수 있어요. 싸울 수 있어. 이게 핸드폰 게임이야? 뭐 언제까지 줘? 제발! 아 내가 훨씬 많아 이거. 공격 도대체 어디서 나오는 거야 얘네들? 둘보단 셋이 낫지 않습니까? 지금 플레이스토어에서 설치하세요.
부산지도 아닙니까 이거?
와, 7군데를 다 돌 거예요. 1번부터 7번까지. 네. 취득을 해서 시청자분들한테 나눠줄 수 있어요.
아 자갈시장 도쿄 도착했어요. 자갈시장. 오우 자 나오세요. 자 가면서 나오시고 2시간. 야 이겼다. 이번엔 이겼어. 그럼 한번 가서 바깥으로 나가야 될 것 같은데 일단 클래스 있다면 4번. 아 좋아요. 타이페이죠 타이페이. 광안리
괌이다.
괌. 야 이건 크다. 부산 분들 위주로 좀 드리면 될 것 같아요 내장. 오.
둘이서 쓸 수 있어. 귀엽지 않아요? 여러분? 오. 된다. 된다. 안녕. 붕어빵 사세요. 그거를 한번 볼까? 지금 나 혼자 신난 거니 혹시? 이거 귀엽다. 찍어도 되나? 진짜 예쁘다 근데.
Welcome back, guys. This is the ASL. Flash just 1-0'd Mong. Pretty, I guess not surprising. Let's go take a closer look at that game and see what exactly happened.
Okay, so looking at a replay.
This was bad. Oh, no,
yeah,
no,
this was a weird move.
He'd had energy for recall.
Yeah, he hadn't done it.
Oh, my God. Okay. He didn't get the upgrade.
That's what we were thinking about, that possibly this was the case. That would have been a fantastic recall, though. You're quite right about that. He would have gotten that base pretty much just ravaged, so...
Well, the thing as well is that he could have recalled there and then ran into the center right base. I don't know if that would have resulted in a win, but obviously if you don't have one of the two critical upgrades for the Arbiter...
missing a critical upgrade when you're going Arbiter Rush and then into 2 Stargate Arbiter, that's pretty bad, and of course we already talked about the other two big mistakes.
That would be like purchasing a bunch of guns and then being like, oh no, I didn't get bullets.
Yeah.
You know, you need to have all the parts to make that work. It's an understandable mistake. Mong is under a lot of pressure right now.
Well, this shows like the difference between him and like championship players. He was never really. He's a very good player, but not like a championship player. A championship player is not going to miss that. Like you have Bisu in this game, he has the recall, he hits the recall.
Right.
Flash is in trouble right there.
Exactly.
Instead, some of Mong's like small mistakes really help Flash to climb right back in and win the game. And after losing, after getting himself in a great position, I don't know, man. Like, is he to win the series at this point for Mong? Seems like such a push, but maybe it is some sort of nerve type thing like you're talking about, right? Like he got off to a lead. Maybe I'm sure you've had this happen. You're like beating a pro gamer that you respect or something. You're like, oh my god, like my heart is beating faster. You know, like, can I hold on?
Well, there's got to be that other moment as well. Like the start of that game for Mong, he was in really good shape. That's got to be a little bit unreal. You're like, oh my god, I could win this. All right, guys, let's go into game number 2. Flash versus Mong. This is a best of 5. The winner is going to be our survivor tonight in this ASL.
'Cause I've had enough.
Okay, introducing our players. In the upper right, in the purple, the fan favorite, it's Flash. And in the bottom left, in the white, our Protoss player, the underdog, I am Mom.
All right.
All right.
We'll see what these guys can do.
All right, guys.
All right.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Yeah, you're going to do it.
Let's see what this Protoss thinks he's going to do to Flash now.
He thinks this Protoss thinks he's good. Wait until he gets 3-2.
That's right. How good are you then?
Yeah.
It's a cool thing called upgrades. Ah. All right.
Ptosis.
Yeah. What up?
Tonsils.
I haven't seen you since yesterday night.
I know. Well, everything's different. I've changed a lot.
Yeah. I noticed today when you walked in, I was like, damn, this guy.
Time hardens people, Artosis.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It made me grow fonder of you or something.
That's
being away
right.
so long.
Uh-oh. Get the sign up. I believe that's a ticket.
Yeah. People like flying in and stuff to see Flash.
A lot of people down here see him play.
Yeah, I mean, it's Flash.
By the way, see that depot, guys? Real quick. That makes the workers mine in a little bit more of a straight line. They tend to arc out more.
Yeah,
so like, a lot of these subtle little tricks in Brood War.
Some patches screw up the pathing a lot where the SMU probe
patches,
drone, like if it's placed in a certain way, sometimes it'll like go in a direction then make a turn that's like more pronounced. You see there, it makes it kind of more a straight line. Like all this stuff got tested a long time ago. There's all sorts of ways to make things mine faster. Like you see a lot of spawning pools under the gas in certain positions and stuff like that.
So, no, Mong did not scout yet. That means he's going to go for probably a very middle-of-the-road build. Mm-hmm. This was popularized, I don't know, maybe like 8 years ago. It really became like, okay, this is totally fine to do. You just don't scout the Terran. You focus on what's happening back at home. Use every single worker to try to mine and get as much as possible.
You know, most Terran openings are more reactionary anyways because you really have to expand.
Right.
There's like very few... just straight up aggro one base openers in TVP. It like almost doesn't exist.
You could do them. Also, it seems like it's pretty trendy right now to use big maps in StarCraft 1. I almost think they need to kind of mix up some of these maps a little bit, which we may end up. Bloodbath. Oh god, that map sucks. Oh,
ooh. Very cool.
Ooh.
Nice little DT rush incoming, guys.
Look at this. Okay. Thought he was going to play standard. But yeah, I do think there are too many big, fat, open maps. We got to eventually break that pattern in Brood War.
Yeah,
we actually had a lot of weird maps, and I know that people are not always thrilled with maps that are out there, but I think, we started doing it more in StarCraft 2. I think it wouldn't hurt to do it in StarCraft 1.
I like the range of maps that we have in StarCraft 2.
The thing about StarCraft 1 is this game's so figured out, you can kind of play any matchup on any map. I mean, there are a few exceptions where the map is just completely stupid. But
if it gets too tight, Terran gets really, really strong, so you got to be careful with that. But yeah, like...
But even then, I would like to see some Protoss play some games on her. Okay, this is just so unfortunate. This is just... Is he going to scout this?
No.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
No way,
what am I saying? What am I saying? Artosis, you solo cast the rest of this.
Okay, I'll do that. I'll do that. The thing is, he may check around. Okay, there's actually a Dragoon to catch this, so...
Surprise!
Yeah.
Ooh, the blocking is
he
good.
He sees no Nexus, so that's at least... Oh, no way, no way,
Oh,
no way, no way, no way, no way, no way! If he doesn't get this, are you kidding me? Are you... Okay. He messed it up enough that he could actually kill it. But, like, that should never happen. He should have killed that thing before it really even got up the ramp. A little bit of miss micro there by Mong. But like, if the SCV had gone to the bottom right and seen that, the advantage of Flash becomes enormous. He just starts making lots of vultures. But Mong didn't actually start range on his Dragoons while the SCV was there, did he? I forgot to check. Sometimes when you see something like that coming, if you have the money, you want to start the upgrade and make it not look weird.
You actually get air weapons and cancel it because it's cheaper.
Yeah, that's right. I didn't check if he was doing that, but if he didn't do that, you see no Nexus and no upgrade.
That means
You're
DT's
getting
your proxy
an eBay.
Reaver.
Yeah, it's
now,
something weird.
Now, if he does get the mines up here, there's a Zealot out here for the sole purpose of absorbing mine hits. We saw him earlier.
You just run it in.
Or she, if it's a girl Zealot. Now, the Dragoon can do the same thing, although you don't normally want to use the Dragoon, but if you have to, you can.
Yeah, you'll throw anything through a minefield to get a DT in, because if a DT gets in against no detection, you basically win.
This is huge.
Okay, just walking it straight through. Okay, now this... That's it. Flash knows what's going on.
Okay, here we go.
I bet you. Like, okay, he's relaying. Look at this. He's blocking, too.
Good block.
He's trying to buy time so his mines can get set up.
Oh, my God, it's not close enough. That's huge.
One mine does not kill a DT, by the way. You do need 2 hits.
Okay, so he's starting the scanner. The DT can kill the scanner before it finishes. See, watch this.
Plenty of mines up, though. So he is delaying him a little bit with these DTs and everything, but it's not the biggest deal.
SCVs are coming back now. No, this is not exactly how it's supposed to go down here. Now, he will try to slip the second DT in after the first one's killed.
Yeah, a lot of mines are getting in the way, though, so
he's going to send the second one in.
Yeah, he's going to try to drag just a single mine in and then force another scan, which there will be another scan, but yeah.
Oh, no, he's going to keep the DT back here. Okay, actually not bad. He can get away from this, I think. Yep, just out of range. Nicely done.
Oh, my God.
6
just
HP.
Barely. That's crazy. So maybe a little tiny mistake there by Flash, but, you know,
this is dirty.
Yeah, I like this type of play a lot.
This is smart. So, because you see the DTs, it's not as common, or not really common. Once you see DTs, they try to expand and stabilize. So he's going to follow this up with a Reaver.
Yeah.
And then drop and hope he can kill even more SCVs.
And,
go ahead.
The one thing, like, from the Terran perspective here, the difference between Reaver and DT is really high. Like, missile turrets are kind of good against both, but, like, missile turret for DT is near your buildings against Reaver, it's on the edge of your base, right? So already the Reaver has a way in. You're generally not going to make any turrets on the edge because that doesn't help against DTs. They drop them off and run by them. But also, against a DT opener, you want to make extra vultures because your opponent has less Dragoons, later range, less observers, all this stuff.
Did he see the shuttle?
Yeah, he definitely saw
see the shuttle. Okay.
Yeah, but that could be for DT drops, could be for all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, or for Zealots. I mean, shuttle is not enough Mattel. Now, he probably will get one more. Let's see. No, just one?
Yeah, I think you pick up whatever you have.
DT and Reaver.
Yeah, it's a deadly combo for sure. But this is, like, it's a cool follow-up. The thing is, Flash can potentially deflect it perfectly, and it might do almost no damage, in which case he's, like, really ahead against a guy that has basically no units.
Right. Well, let's see where he decides to... Okay, spotted. That doesn't help.
Okay, DT walking up here. He's going to get alley-ooped into the main base. Turret on the edge as well. He's starting to figure this out. Okay, there's going to be a drop incoming. I love the placement of his units, by the way. That's, like, really quick reaction to anywhere.
Okay, the shuttle's coming out. I don't think he can actually get in there.
Yeah, it's a little bit too close.
Problem is, when you do this, if you don't do any damage, you've, like, spent a decent amount of money teching in 2 different directions. Now, he could drop it here. Let's see if this works out. Nope.
Flash is very much on top of this right now.
He really is. He's doing a really good job.
Mong just really doesn't have, like, a whole lot right now because of all this tech that he's purchased early on. This is really rough, and it looks like he's like, well, I'll just go into Arbiters again. I don't like that choice, to be honest. I feel like he's got to mix it up from here. If we're going to look from the Mong, how do you kill Flash side of things, he's tried a DT rush. It didn't do enough. He backed it up with a Reaver opener, and, like, or not a Reaver opener, but his transition was into a Reaver, and we haven't seen that do anything yet.
So he can poke in with this one Reaver, try to get over here and try to take out some SCVs, ideally. But I don't know, man. Flash is in pretty good shape. This is the problem with playing against Flash. You try to do everything to him, and he kind of just deflects it all.
Yeah.
And then pushes out later and kills you.
Just the places he's put his units, the the timings on his turrets and stuff, everything has been really good. Even in scanning that main base, seeing the shuttle, it's like, come on.
It's taken Flash over a decade to perfect this kind of defense. Oh! He needs to pick that up.
Oh, yeah, he gets that shuttle right away. Oh, that was a great
really good
scarab,
hit.
though.
That was big.
Dude, look at this. Once again, Mong pushing forward and getting a bunch of siege tanks.
Yeah. Well, that's what he needed to do. Now he just needs to get this SCV up here. And then the command center.
Force a cancel pretty easily on that one.
The cancel.
Oh, come on.
Come on.
Wait, was there a siege tank on the higher end? No, that's an SCV building a turret.
No, it was nothing. I think he could have gotten that.
Yeah, like above the command center, I think it was a turret being built, but he could have forced a cancel here, I feel like.
I think so.
If he steps up like 2 spaces and does 2 volleys, Flash has to cancel. And so I'm a little bit surprised by that.
Well, I think he's trying to be really cautious.
Yeah, he doesn't want to lose too many units, but
he did get those tanks. That was really good, especially when he connected that Scarab with the Marines and everything.
Considering his shuttle got picked off and everything, that went pretty well. Definitely, like if he doesn't do that, if he doesn't step in and kill those, it's just like a blunder game.
So he's planting more mines out here now. Terran is going to be on the 3rd base. Now the 4th base is pretty close as well for Terran. They usually get the 4th base for free.
Yeah.
We don't have any expanding into other mains or anything like that. And now the dropship play is out. And it seems like nowadays Terrans are always getting 1 dropship and 1 science vessel, basically before the 3rd base is done.
We're seeing that quite often. And, you know, I really like it, especially in a game like this, where Flash has to be sitting here like, okay, I'm already ahead no matter what.
Right.
Mixing a drop in is not going to set him behind. Absolutely not. And unless you're going to be attacking very early, the dropship, even if it doesn't do anything, it's okay. Because you want to get science vessels, but it's not like your starter port is always going to be blinking. So on a map like this where you're going to get that 4th base, you're going to be maxed out before you attack, this is a nice move.
Okay, dropship coming around now. Dragoons are going to try to come over here into position. Well, now he's going to see exactly what the specific build was. Okay, he wants to get the dropship. If you get the dropship, that's a big win. Oh, Dragoons are so buggy. Okay, he gets it.
Yeah, he gets it.
Yeah, he's okay.
No damage done there. Flash obviously wants that to do more, but it's not the biggest deal. He's already deflected so much from Mong that a single dropship and a tank is not a big deal. Anyways, this is a big deal, though. Running a bunch of vultures into this 3rd base. He's going to kill so many probes.
Yeah, that's a pretty big play. Looks like he will be able to take out some of these vultures, but overall, that was a victory there. Also, okay, no, he'll be able to clean this up. Nicely done. But yeah, I mean, getting probes like that, it's crazy how fast you can kill their workers.
Yeah.
If you just get in the right position.
Yeah, vultures fire pretty fast, and 2-shotting probes. I mean, you get just a few in there, and suddenly your economy takes a huge hit as Protoss.
They got like 4 or 5 in there, and it's a nightmare. So he's massing up a lot of factories. The gateway production's pretty good. Now on this map, similar to the other map, actually similar to almost all the maps we're using currently in StarCraft 1, Fighting Spirit included, the opening in the center is very big and wide. That's also why we don't see much carrier teching, guys, is if you have a big open map, and this is a general rule if you want to learn more about this game, if the map's open in the very center, going for an air fleet's not that strong, because they just run under you with Goliaths.
The more cliffs that there are, the more like things in the way that you can run behind so you can't be chased, the stronger carriers become.
Right.
And it's like, the thing about carriers as well is they are unbelievably strong, but not until you hit a certain amount of them.
Yeah.
And so like...
There's a point in time where you get enough of them and everything basically dies. The thing about carriers as well is you can switch in and out of them.
Yeah.
So you can like start to lose the carriers and just remake your ground army.
Yeah, if you trade correctly, like that's a lot of carrier victories that you'll see is if, like, let's say that he lost basically all of the vultures in the front, right? So he's basically making a lot of Goliaths and siege tanks. Suddenly you switch back into ground and Zealot Dragoon kills that.
Yeah.
Like the vultures are critical. So if he's spending factory build time on something else, Goliaths just aren't that good against ground.
Dragoons and Zealots are now moving out. Now, I don't believe anything should compel Protoss to attack here. I think that would be a mistake. But we've seen a lot of Protosses try to do it.
Looks like he wants to take
Okay, here we go.
Running through this minefield. He does lose that observer up front, but the Zealots will clear out everything else here.
Looks like he's going to go for a stasis.
That is a lot of missile turrets, and trying to break in here, this isn't going to work. His Zealots are gone. He needs to back up.
Yeah, this is just never...
Yeah.
Oh, EMP there too.
Oh, boy.
It looks like he just wanted to try to go for a bust, but as you can see, the tanks are in the back. He's not really hitting them. Now, he does get these Dragoons up here. Maybe I should hold my breath.
Yeah, a few more Zealots actually somehow got in here, and with that stasis, this is actually doing a lot better than I thought it would.
That was, I don't know, me and our toasts were like scratching our heads when this started out, but he did come in there. Now, he didn't get SCVs or the command center. He seems to be pulling away and really throwing some opportunities away. I know that more tanks would have come eventually, but you want to be able to get that. He's going to remass up, dude. He's going to go right back up here and try to do it again.
Yeah, that was, you know, I guess the one real saving grace there is he didn't have all of his Zealots in the front of his army.
That's true.
So, like, as some Dragoons died and the rest of them came in from the back, that did help him out. But,
okay,
you know, he broke through quite well.
He's got a shuttle here. Got to be careful. Pulls his observers back. Will he go in for another one?
So I don't know. Like, the amount of vultures that are popping out and spider mines going down, I don't know if it's going to be effective for him to do it again, but he's whittled down the siege tank count a number of times. It almost feels like this is exactly when you pull back, make sure no harassment happens, and take 2 more bases.
Yeah, I agree. Now, Protoss is playing a very conservative game here. You notice all of his expansions are kind of touching. It almost looks like a StarCraft 2 base. I am under the impression that he really does not want to risk taking another main and getting into that kind of game here. He's going to try to just acquire the bottom right and win the game from there. Oh, man, there's one probe hidden up here.
Looks like, by the way, he is taking, that middle left base, like the 9 o'clock and that, what is that? Like, I don't read clocks like that, Tiz.
9 o'clock and
that one towards the bottom right, yeah. So that's given him like a really solid economy, but
yeah.
He's definitely going to get that up and running and clear out all of this harassment.
Okay, he does come up here. See this one probe. So that's going to delay taking that for a little bit. Again, guys, Mong is like not really in bad shape. He's actually playing a really good PvT. It's interesting to see he didn't cheese at all yet. I mean, he did some sneaky builds, but these are not like all-ins.
Yeah.
These builds are generally meant to gimp the Terran, and then you just win later on. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
That's not what you want to see.
Oh, my God.
Oh, boy. That's a lot of damage on those Zealots. Soften up quite a few of them. Well, Flash going to have to start thinking about a 5th base or a push here pretty soon. Still throwing a lot of vultures around trying to harass, and he's getting a very good feel of where everything is and how many bases Mong has.
You know, Flash has had a hard time having any map presence, though. No mines really are able to stay on the map. I mean, Mong's doing a very good job cleaning this up. Flash is taking the center right, and that center right base is basically the last base that Terran could take without an incredible amount of difficulty involved.
Yeah. Anything else he takes, it's going to turn into kind of a crazy attack moving scenario where both players have to move their armies around the map so much. So that means that a push will be coming out behind this 5th base, or rather very in front of it, as he does push down towards the south.
Hold up. Big attack is about to start here. Is he going to go for it? It looks like he is.
That is a huge amount of Zealots.
2-3. Oh, that's really scary.
Yeah.
That's really hard to beat.
Look at this army, though, next time we get a shot of it. I kind of like how Mong is going more Zealots than a lot of Protosses we've seen lately, because we see a lot of Protosses that don't have enough Zealots, and then they have all these Dragoons that just die to tanks, but Mong almost has too many Zealots, I want to say.
Okay, he's coming in now. And that Observer was there to soak up these shots. He needs a recall! Oh, my God!
Well, that certainly is a big one, but EMPs come in all over the place. That is a fantastic defense matrix as well. Ton of Vultures coming down, now, and he will clear this.
It's okay if he loses this army, Protoss does, as long as he tries to buy enough time. He wants it to basically run to the upper, like above where the gas geyser is, and hold it there. Now, the next attack for Protoss should be at the center right, although I don't see him doing it.
See, this here is the problem. Like, if he had immediately attack moved into the 3 o'clock base, he gets that command center.
His upgrades are garbage, man.
Where's his upgrades at?
I think he's at 2 attack.
Just 2 attack?
Yeah, I think so, unless I missaw it. That's pretty bad against 3-2, because then it doesn't matter what angle you get at.
Yeah.
You always lose the fight. In fact, Flash could probably just roll him right now.
That is kind of rough. He's going to have to really rely on army movement and stasises, basically, to be able to take this down. But, you know, Protoss upgrades just do not scale as well as Terran, and that's in StarCraft 1, StarCraft 2, and probably StarCraft 3 in the future.
Yeah. He's going to try to attack in again here.
Okay, coming in right now is Flash. These Vultures doing massive amounts of damage to the front of their army.
Keep your eyes peeled for the Protoss upgrades, because I swear that they are really low. Now 0, 0, 0 ARBs. Oh no! We're all -1. Well, Terran is going to bully his way into the center left of the map. Now, Monk is doing a good job playing the, the runaway sneaky style. Ooh, just now driven out. But Terran's going to go right for the jugular here. Oh, he should recall
to counterattack. This isn't going to work very well. Like, the depots there alone are going to give Flash enough time to send a bunch of reinforcements up. So, like, and now that it's just down to Dragoons, you can't even go in against those 3 tanks.
Is he going to try to recall here?
I guess so.
Oh, something happened.
Right onto some mines, though, unfortunately.
Wow, those mines really serving their purpose here. These 3 tanks over here, still not able to actually do that much.
Well, he's killed a bunch of the SCVs. He's trying to get on top of these siege tanks, but Dragoons are 2-1 right now as he upgrades for Protoss.
Yeah, it's 2-1. So
he's down a couple.
Yeah, and I think Flash is probably almost a 3-3. So I think the game actually ends. I think it's not the idea of what Mong's doing is pretty good. It's the execution that's just not that good.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you
right
there.
Now, Flash, Mong is basically like that virgin that is thrown into the volcano in the Aztec Empire,
is the sacrifice,
so that the sun will rise again the next day, and Flash will continue to be in the ASL.
Nice recall here on all of those speedlots, and I mean, he will force a liftoff at least, but
the thing is, I don't think he has enough tools. He doesn't have like resources. I don't even mean money resources. I mean like gateways and positional ability to recuperate.
The main army of Flash is just not going to be broken with the type of play that he's showing us here. He does still have a spread of gateways, so maybe he can pull something together as Flash is coming across the map.
He'd have to have some really good Arbiter plays. Stasis, by the way, have been pretty non-existent this game. Now, can he come in here and save this Nexus?
Yeah, just barely not, unfortunately. I thought he might draw some fire from those tanks with the Dragoons, but does get the kill on those. That is a lot of siege tanks and vultures coming down.
This all, well, I guess he needs more Arbiters. He's going to go for another recall here.
Yeah, he might, in fact.
Don't do it there. Oh, that's like exactly what
I kind of want to see it on top of the siege tanks.
Yeah, on top of the siege tanks is ideal.
Okay, well, he's trying to fly through, and in fact, he will make it through. Maybe if he can kill all the production. The thing is, does he have enough? He doesn't have enough economy to keep refilling everything.
Oh, never mind. He doesn't have energy. He just recalled. You need to have Zealots whenever you do these recalls, by the way. The Dragoons alone don't cut it.
Yeah,
these Dragoons don't deal damage that fast.
Yeah, they do like okay damage against like buildings and siege tanks and stuff, but against things like vultures, not as much. And I mean, they don't like draw splash into other things. That's one of the main things about Zealots. Half of the Zealots' damage is the mine pulls and the siege tank splash.
Okay, well, scans are coming down here. He's starting to shave off these tanks, but I just don't know if this is enough. He recalls some of his army on top of there, immediately dies.
Yeah, not going so well.
Now, in fairness, I mean, he did keep Flash on just one base here. It's just that Flash managed to destroy, like, virtually all of the position that Protoss had this game.
Yeah, Flash looking like the possible future champion of ASL right now, just not allowing Mon anywhere.
Okay.
Mon is playing pretty good games.
Yeah, I feel like
there
we
are
need
some
to have,
mistakes, but
after about the first 15 minutes, we need to have Bisu get in the computer chair and play the rest of it out, because it's look, this is probably the hardest part about PvT for Protoss is you have to have every single coordinated attack work out right. If Protoss screws up and loses like a big enough chunk of the army, the Terran basically rolls the Protoss. The Terran army is, until Protoss gets Psystorm, and that's also another story, it's a little bit trickier than you would think to get Psystorm out after Arbiters. You can end up over-dependent on Arbiters, but yeah, it's tricky for Protoss.
Arbiters are a lot of gas.
Yeah,
a lot of gas.
It's really tough to get that right setup.
Yeah.
To pull through with a victory. It's just so hard.
Yeah.
And Flash is, I mean, this is over a decade of practice to have perfect defense, to stop everything that Protoss throws at you. And I think that, it's Mong's execution.
His precise, like, defense against the initial DT, like, he laid the mines just right. He figured out, even, like, blocked with his units at the ramp for a moment, so he'd have extra time to lay some mines, and, like, he got into his comm stats quick enough. And then when the Reavers, like, the one scan that saw the shuttle, I mean, technically that was a small mistake for Mong. He should have had the shuttle over near the actual robotic support bay, right? So if it gets scanned, it gets scanned. He already knows what's coming. But like even that move, that one scan that saw that, Flash immediately positioned all his units in such a way that the Reaver never found a way in. Like
plus, if you invest in Dark Templars and Reavers and you don't do a lot of damage, I mean, you went way out of your way to not have a third base and not have much of an army. I think Mong did a pretty commendable job considering, but it just was not enough. We're going to go to a short break. Either Mong is going to win this or Flash is going to win this 3-0. or Mong is going to begin the comeback. We'll be right back after this short break.
Just another brain on the campus, just another man in the field, just another tall pile of papers, making it crowded in here. Someone else's work in your thesis, someone else's words in your mouth, someone else's hard work and research, taking you up in the world. Oh, never leave me out, I'm standing by the sidelines. Oh, never leave me out, I'm standing by. I watch it all from afar. Heaven help me. I watch it all fall apart. Heaven help me. Help me, help me, help me, help me. I watch it all from afar. Heaven help me. Just another brain on the campus. Just another set of ideas. Just another theory.
클래시를 BJ 팀매치로 인사를 드립니다. 되게 운이 좋은 것 같아요 항상.
밤새 연습하고 지금 올라왔어요.
아니 이거 도겸이 못살리네.
땀 흘렸습니다.
자, 이걸 어떻게
세레머니 힘이 가져다주는 힘이 어느 정도까지 지켜보겠고요.
부캐라고 말씀드릴 수 있고요.
대단한 역전극입니다. 도겸 팀입니다.
그래서 오늘 두 분이 경쟁을 하는 거예요.
부산 전체를 돌아다니면서 저희가 7개 시청자 여러분들 다 뿌리도록 하겠습니다. 4번이요. 도쿄 넌 내 거야. 짠! 4번.
네.
오케이. 정답입니다. 운도 좋아 운도. 와 화물 뺏겼다. 가자.
저희 입수하러 갈게요. 저희는.
그런데 스노우의 밤에는 가장 좋은 기능 중에 하나가 실시간으로 적용되는 아이템. 맞디? 스노우의 기능이 어마무시하죠 진짜로? 원판입니다. 로모디. 저한테 채팅으로 보내주시면 치킨 5마리를 뿌리겠습니다 시청자분들.
라이조바 상해요.
급식이야? 와 센스!
왜 어떻게 사전에 초청했다고?
실시간으로 친구들이랑 가족들이랑 이제 사진 보내주고 같이 함께 꾸미면 더욱더 이쁜 스노우의
댄스 도와의 결선 무대를 시작하겠습니다.
그런 의미를 담은 그 댄스 퍼포먼스,
이 무대를 마음껏 즐기시는 모습을
계속 춤추셨으면 좋겠어요. 꼭.
1등은요 축하합니다. 2SC
축하드립니다.
와우. Welcome back to the ASL. It is 2-0 right now.
Yeah.
Not surprising. I think we'll probably have a 3-0. We were talking about this on break, but I think Mong needs to play a little bit dirtier.
Yeah, he does in some way. Like DT into Reaver is like, and
it's not bad.
He's trying to be dirty, but
I feel like DT into Reaver would be better if it was somebody a few tiers below Flash, like a really, really high-ranking Terran, but just somebody who wouldn't factor that in. But DT into Reaver is not uncommon right now in Bird War.
Yeah, well,
and it's really a strategy that's based a lot on, oops, I wasn't prepared. And I feel like in any RTS game, most of your strats should not be based off of your opponent making a mistake. It should be based off of you just playing so perfectly.
Yeah. Well, especially when it's Flash, you have to find like very creative ways to get him, not ways that he's hit a billion times on the ladder. But I don't know, like watching this so far, I feel like he's like an old iPhone or something. Like he gets wrecked every time he encounters Flash.
Just like an old iPhone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Faceless doesn't get it.
I don't get it. I don't get it. What's
iPhones used to not be able to see anything on Flash players, right?
Okay. Well done, Artosis.
Okay. Guys. Oh.
I don't think the strats he's using, in all seriousness, are appropriate for Flash. I think he needs to do something insane. And
I mean, the ideas in game one.
That shit insane.
Yeah. I really do want to see something absolutely out there, like carrier rush, 6-gate charge, a bulldog, something just wild that Flash just won't be able to calculate for.
Right.
Like, I want Mong to beat Flash because Mong is so bad and has such bad strategies that Flash literally can't figure out what the hell is going on. That's one of the best ways to beat a good Terran.
I just don't know what that strat would be, but I mean, I'm talking like we go in there, take his gas, build stuff at his base, pull his pants down, light burning dog poop on fire in a paper bag outside of his house.
Yes. We got to beat
Slash his car tires.
He's an old man. He's going to be sitting on his porch with a shotgun. Meanwhile, you're expanding everywhere.
Yeah. He's trying to put out that bag of fire, but it's full of dog poop. He's got dog poop on his shoes. Already gateways in both the other mains. It's too late, Terran player.
It's way too late.
Eat my dust, Terran player.
Arbiter's all over the place.
Yeah.
Flash is outside wearing shorts, but suddenly he gets frozen from a stasis.
That's right. Well, I don't know, man. I think we should be... Look, you need to go take a game off of Flash. Let's do it. Well, everybody give Mong your energy.
We
need to have...
Let's not have a 3-0.
Let's have some kind of crazy all-in. Go deep in the Protoss soul. If you truly have a Protoss soul, you know there's something that's so crazy, so down and dirty. Maybe even Flash can't stop it.
No. It would have to be something that even if Flash scouts it, he doesn't know what it is.
Yeah.
That happens sometimes. You see something and it's like your brain is just not picking it up because it's like, I don't know, I've played so many tens of thousands of games that I can't really quite zoom in on what this is.
Yeah. All right, guys, this is game number 3. Hopefully not our last. Or we're going to have a very short night here tonight.
Yeah. And, of course, we could have some of those. I guess not as many foreigners play StarCraft 1 anymore, but do you see the Terrans all 3-0 in Protosses?
I pretty much figured out that now this game isn't balanced 18 years later.
Yeah.
Shut up! This is game number 3. Good luck, Mong, because Flash is up 2-0. Tell your friends to join us here at the ASL before it ends tonight, because it's going by pretty damn fast. There's not much time left, guys. Not much time left. In the bottom left, in the white, Flash. It's too bad that superhero copied his ID. In the center right, in the brown, our Protoss player, I am Mong.
The really sad thing is that he only copied one of Flash's superpowers.
Yeah.
The superpower speed. Yeah. There's no star sense for the Flash superhero.
Now,
So macro.
I almost feel like if Mong doesn't do something crazy in this game, he's going to be like, man, it's kind of hot. I feel kind of hot. And he's going to be like, wait a minute, I'm sitting in a hot tub? And then he looks up, and Flash is actually cutting carrots, and he's cooking Mong alive. He's going to eat him.
He's making a stew. Perhaps a spinach stew?
Yeah. Yeah.
Flash finishing off that Bakari sweat. That's kind of funny. He started the match with that completely full, and now it's gone. So he's actually planning on finishing the match on this game.
Yeah, that's what.
Otherwise, he would have saved, more of it for the next game.
We've got no scouting just yet.
Oh, best in the audience watching
with his favorite turtleneck.
I know, that's quite a turtleneck.
That's a nice sweater.
That's not going to save you from Flash's vultures, bro.
Yeah, man. They'll shoot right there. They'll get right behind the turtleneck and start killing your probes.
It's like, I thought this was a tight wall. It's like, no, man, that's a StarCraft 1 sweater.
Yeah.
There's like 3 holes in that.
Yeah. 3 holes even the greatest minds couldn't have seen ahead of time. I don't know, guys. Mong has not done anything crazy yet, but he still has the opportunity to do that.
Yeah. I like seeing these map stats, by the way. It's like a brand new map. TVP, 1-1 so far.
Remember our early GSL days? Well, it looks like Zerg is 1-0 on this map.
Yeah.
Guess we can really derive a lot from that. There's been at least one game with Zerg.
Well, stats are always a really funny thing in RTS because people try to use them to back up things. I guess that's really in anything. Stats can be a really funny thing to look at.
Well, I think there's so many things like people confusing correlation and causation. So many ways that you can actually just completely get stats wrong.
Yeah, totally the case. And like a lot of times when you're trying to count certain...
Does that Zealot actually block that off?
Yeah, he can't get an SC up that ramp. Definitely a very annoying thing for a Terran player to have to put up with, but such is life. 3-player map, by the way, which is kind of neat. Didn't have a whole lot of 3-player maps in Professional Brood War.
We have the robotics facility coming here. Does he go for a quick Reaver?
Huh. I would like to see that.
I mean, if he goes for quick Observer, I'm just a little bit confused. He can He can go for Bulldog here as well. Bulldog, by the way, Bulldog is where you get a couple Dragoons, get a shuttle with Zealots in it, and just run into their base.
Yeah.
Drop the Zealots on the tanks. Use Dragoons to gun everything down. It doesn't work as well if there's a bunker, so I don't think we're going to be seeing it as much. But like if you were on the ladder, theoretically, in Brood War, and you wanted to just get a Terran out of the way who you knew was just not as good as you, you just Bulldog him.
Absolutely.
Or if you G5, you make 2 shuttles with Zealots in them because you're crazy.
Yeah, the double Bulldog. That's for people who are ready for the Bulldog.
Yeah.
It looks more like a Reaver build, but we'll see. Like, you have to add gateways. You can't do it off 1 gate. You generally do it off 3 if it's a Bulldog. But Korean Protosses generally don't use that as much. It was a very powerful build in the foreign Protoss scene. Wasn't used all the time, but definitely was like in the toolbox.
Yeah, I was a fan of it myself. It's just good if you want to just get a game out of the way where you're like, this guy's bad, and I don't, PvT can take a long time.
Yeah.
So this can be one.
I don't want to have to try.
Yeah, I know exactly. I'm like, I got stuff to do.
Sick Dragon.
Nice play.
Yeah.
Now there's 2 different types of Reaver drops. There's one where you get 2 Zealots and the Reaver in there, and you drop the Zealots to absorb mines and absorb tank shots.
Yeah.
Then the Reaver pops out and fires. You can also get shuttle speed and get 2 Reavers, but of course you get there a little bit later. Terran may be prepared.
Yeah, I think this will be the former with the Zealots. He does already have the one that was blocking the ramp. Wouldn't be surprised if he popped out another one. Flash does realize that something could be on the way, so starts his engineering bay here. And he did open with a factory. If you had opened like with just a barracks expand, no gas, something like this can be a little bit harder to stop because you're a little bit later on your factory units. And Marines, needless to say, Marines are not very good against Reavers.
Ruh-roh. Is he going to block this? Now, sometimes just seeing the probe is enough to sound red flags. But you know what? He did this the first game. Okay, so were there 2 Zealots in there? I believe there are. We don't see the Zealots anywhere else.
I mean, at least 1 Zealot
you
in there,
can also Bulldog with this as well, although it doesn't tend to work out as nicely.
Nah.
It depends on if they're using siege mode or not. Some Terrans just don't put it in siege mode, and then the Reaver comes out and kills everything.
It's a super light amount of siege tanks with just 1 out there right now. Oh my god, you have to be kidding me. The Kobo moment returns. Oh my god, that's crazy. Okay, well, that hit then. That works out much better now for Flash. That 1 mine hit, he has to run out. Okay,
He's
so here it
coming
comes.
here.
Yeah, look at that. The turret is like, it's okay place. It's like hedging his bets on what this is coming in.
Okay, now you need to fire at the clump of Marines, but Flash doesn't have it actually set up.
Yeah, if you kill all the Marines with this, then you get free reign over the base.
Okay,
That's a good
got the
Scarab.
out here.
Really good Scarab so far. Perfect Scarab right there, Tasteless. This is a big deal.
He could actually get one shot off on the SCVs if he can stay out of range. It's no Zealots left, right?
He has one Zealot that's really low.
He might have to go swap the Zealot out with a Dragoon on the low ground.
Yeah, he might do something like that. Wow, Citadel coming up right away here.
He may go for Zealot legs with a bus.
That's what I would really like to see. If he goes Zealot legs 6 gates, I'm a Mong fan. Like that's a play that could be very good here. He's already whittling things down. He's forcing a lot of missile turrets. Flash is having to play a very defensive game.
Well, I mean, Flash did a very good job with that. We don't normally see this strat used as much unless you're really close to them, just because the sooner you get there, you know, the exponentially goes up the strength of your Scarabs.
Okay, he can get in here and do a little bit of damage. That SCV trying to make a turret, pulls away immediately. More Marines are being made to push that shuttle back.
I really want to emphasize how good he is at actually keeping those far enough away, those Marines spread out like that, so that the Scarab can't quite connect.
I do also want to say, though, that I feel like Mong is being I can't. He's still two-base arbiter. Protosses are stuck right now on this, to be honest. Like, I understand that this is the strongest meta that the pros have figured out right now, but to do it every game, no matter what the opening, I like in a best of 5, just generally speaking, that
I thoroughly disagree with it.
Yeah.
Now he could get up here and actually get a Reaver drop off. He just needs to actually drop it there. You notice the barracks in the high ground. That's to assist the turret in shooting the shuttle.
He's been a little bit too careful, I feel like, the entire time with this, don't you? Like, there's been times it's like 1 siege tank and 2 Marines walk in. It's like, well, if you have a Zealot and a Reaver in there, you can get a Scarab off on the siege tank, and now the siege tank has to play Scarab because 2 Scarabs kill it, right? So, I mean, come on, you can try to get a little bit more damage, but he's playing so super safe, and the safer you play, the more likely it is it goes into the late game where Flash dominates.
You know, the other thing as well is that it's a big difference between going for DT rush or DT drop. Oh, get it!
Okay, that was a good Scarab right there.
Little victories.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's a big difference between going for a DT rush or DT drop into Arbiters because you were already going in that tech direction anyways. To go from quick Reaver into Arbiters, you end up in the same conundrum that you had in Game 2, where he went for DTs into Reavers.
Yeah.
You basically went 2 opposite tech paths that don't particularly complement each other.
You literally have every building except the shield battery if you do that.
Yeah,
that's it.
It's just the amount of money you spend on tech is crazy. Now, it doesn't mean that you can't do it and it's not good, but there is that obvious problem that you encounter.
This is not like a streamlined way to play. You're going to have less units.
It's basically you're doing it because it's unorthodox. He needs that second pylon. There we go. Wall in.
Yeah, very good wall in right there to slow these down. He is going across the map right now with DTs in his shuttle. I'm not sure exactly how many there are. We saw one go in, but could have put a few more in. This could just be to slow everything down, waste scans, considering you are rushing to Arbiters. Forcing any scans out right now can be very strong.
Sure. He's cleaning up the mines that were laid in path of that third base. And, yeah, he should just take a third. I mean, this is pretty straightforward. You could take a quick third if they're going for Arbiter. Now, this is going to be a little bit trickier with a DT and a Reaver up here. He's massing up, by the way, his own gates. Now, he didn't even get a forge here. He's getting +1, so he's definitely learned from that last game, because if you don't have the upgrades there, it doesn't even matter if Terran's in siege mode at that point in time. They just kill all your stuff.
By the way, screwing up the pathing a little bit with that DT on the ramp.
Oh, my God! Oh!
Oh, man. Okay, well, he picks up the DT and gets out of there. He still has the Reaver in there as well, trying to slow down this additional base.
He just wants to bait out scans.
Yeah.
Terran is basically required to scan the Protoss constantly to monitor how many gateways, when and where the Protoss is expanding.
It's the only way you can actually scout
check
the
for
tech.
carriers. I mean, you probably won't go carriers in this map, but Terran is checking for that.
If you're not ready for it, you definitely can die. Now, the Reaver trying to come in once again. Still just not taking any risks with where he drops off. An unsieged siege tank has less range than a Reaver.
So sometimes the Scarab does get stuck.
Yeah.
And
that did no
doesn't
damage.
connect. Yeah. It's a dud Scarab, we'd call it. Trust me, guys, you would not want to fix that, by the way.
Yeah,
if they connected every time. Oh my god.
That. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go Reaver every
Start
game.
learning
I'm going to
PvP
open
because
raids.
that's the only matchup you're playing on the ladder. Yeah.
Actually, pretty good mind drags to get as efficient as he can with these Dragoons against those offensive
Terran's
mines.
pushing. This is pretty gutsy.
Especially considering he knows there's a shuttle out. There is the Reaver's still out here. But it's only a Dragoon army at the moment. He spent so much money on tech. We don't actually have Zealots
this is
out.
the problem, is that you can't beat tanks and vultures with just Dragoons. Now he's got the Arbiter. Does he have the Stasis?
Hard to say, but without Zealots, like pure siege tank is really strong now. Even Vultures coming in, gonna help kill off anything that comes too close.
Okay, he has to kill this in a sandwich.
And he does have some units up top, and in fact that DT being dropped out, I think he just popped it right back in. Yeah, he's trying to do some tricky moves, but
there's no
not really
Zealot
working out
legs
so far.
Now that Reaver shot connected pretty nicely, but you see slow Zealots, the difference between how long it takes to get there.
Ooh,
That was a good
second
shot.
Scarab right there. Like he will be able to clean this up, it looks like.
This is really good by him. Now this is not easy, guys. Oh my god, but he got the Nexus.
Oh, jeez, I didn't even see that.
Yeah, I almost missed it myself. Wow.
Well, killing the Nexus makes this worth it then. Like, that would have been, I would say, a very nice place for Mong to be in. Losing that Nexus does kind of set him back now, right? He's going to be 3 base versus 3 base, and his army doesn't look like it can really break through Flash's third, so Flash is safe to macro up more, but killing that Nexus, that's a really big boon for Flash.
He did take out a lot of those tanks. It takes Terran a long time to remake that. And he is going to get that 4th Nexus up pretty quickly here. So, I mean, Mong's not really... Ooh, hear my voice crack? Puberty, guys. Mong!
Yeah. He's just really going back into Brood War.
Yeah, I'm really going back now. He's not in terrible shape. It was a bit of an exchange.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel like Flash's spot just slightly more right now, but not by a whole lot. A lot of why I like it is because it is Flash, and I know that he can macro right back up and stay calm right now. Look at how carefully he's laying around mines and turrets absolutely everywhere. Because it's going to take him a little while to remake his army. He lost a lot of tanks in that attack. Of course, he did take out a lot of Mong units, but...
Now he's got the Zealot legs. He has a sophisticated army. There's no science vessel out yet, right?
I haven't seen one.
I think it's... Which goes to show you how staggered the tech was here for Terran. He did go for a science vessel on 3rd base. Normally he's going for a 2-base dropship science vessel. He's kind of getting everything. Basically having all the tools ready to really take a Terran on, or rather a Protoss on head-to-head. I believe Protoss has no second forge, so he's just getting attack upgrades.
Yeah, he got the forge a lot earlier this game, I'm pretty sure, so
you know what's
his
funny about
upgrade
this?
should be a little bit closer.
Check this out. Because he killed all those tanks, he actually can do a recall that would probably take out the 3rd.
Yeah,
he actually can completely until he
because you have to be spread in the front right now.
Yeah.
All right, he's actually going to fly right into that 3rd base, and that is, in fact, a huge recall. That's a lot of Dragoons, and there's almost nothing up here.
Okay, Mong actually can take this game. Flash should not have done that push with those tanks. If he had not pushed like that, the recall is not an option. And I think he actually is going to push in through the front over here, hopefully not losing any Arbiters in the process.
This is a really good move overall by Mong. He found the one weak point. It literally was just right there. Already the bottom of the map is completely secure against recalls, and this middle area was as well.
So you have to recall on top of that, too. If he can get these Zealots over here on top of these tanks, Mong might be able to do this, guys.
Yeah, he's actually starting to clear a lot of the tanks out, and there's not a lot left for Flash here. Few siege tanks left up at that 3rd base, but he's lost just about everything in the front.
Dude, is Flash going to lose this? Mong might be able to do it. He's actually going to run up here. He needs to keep rallying out more attacking units. Again, I think Mong might be going back a little bit too soon.
He's getting a little bit afraid because he doesn't really have detection. It's all Zealots. So if he runs into a bunch of mines that are randomly on top of the ramp, then suddenly he throws away a big chunk of his army. But, you know, he's done enough damage here anyways, and he's on 4 bases.
What is his probe doing here? Okay, well, you know what? He did a really good job.
Yeah.
He actually deserves to be commended for this.
This one time of him running back, too, I think it's, like, pretty reasonable.
That's funny.
Yeah, he forces another scan out as well.
I think the Dragoons might actually be there for a little bit longer here, too. There's not actually enough to take him on. Oh, maybe with the tank he'll be okay.
Yeah, might have to scan again, though. Oh, my God. Forces 2 scans out of that. Pretty nice. But yeah, this was pretty good by Mong overall. And look, he can easily expand from here. He can do all sorts of things from here. He can take another Nexus if he wants. Flash can't attack for a very long time.
Mong actually can win this if he plays really, really well for the next little bit. This game should be a victory here for Mong. What he needs to do now is recall.
And he's going to try to actually break through here. That stasis actually still on.
Oh my god, that's so funny. Okay, you know what?
Hey.
Now, the funny thing is there's so many stasis units, it actually operates as a bit of a wall over here for some of these units in the back.
Yeah, the siege tanks can't actually be gotten to, and he's losing a lot more Dragoons than he actually wants to here. So that actually wasn't that good of an attack?
No, it certainly was not. Bravest Zealot in the game.
All right.
So, he has to regroup. I think that it's possible that Mong's macro faltered somewhere in these attacks because it doesn't seem like he has a lot behind this.
Well, I guess like having to remake the third did slow down his macro a little bit, but definitely he was trying to micro heavily on his units, and you're right, it doesn't feel like he has the right amount of units at the moment.
Now, Flash is actually lashing back out across the map with a huge push. I think he's confident that Mong might have overextended here. Does Mong actually have enough? Mong needs to play conservative. He needs to wait until he has the absolute maximum amount of units before he attacks in here.
Yeah, Flash out in the middle. This is like kind of risky move, but if Mong does not deal with it correctly, this can absolutely get Flash right back into the game and into a position where he can win. Try to move some siege tanks up to hit that third base, but he's actually starting to withdraw with most of his army. So look at that. He's actually anticipating this counterattack, sending 2 siege tanks up to kill the third, and moving the rest of his army back. This is a really brainy move by Flash.
Yeah, this is some very good star sense here. He's actually completely outmaneuvered Mong here. Mong is now isolated from the northern part of the map, and that's the most equitable part of the map that he needs to control.
He's going to lose that third, isn't he? Like 2 siege tanks. I'm pretty sure those are 2 siege tanks I see on the mini-map outside the pylon wall.
Well, I think they would have killed the Nexus by now if they were, right?
Just very soon. Okay, stasis then. That's what happened.
That explains it.
Yeah. 2-1 upgrades.
Needs to stasis that and then build cannons around it. Cannons are done, and then, a minute later. Oh, my God!
Ooh, that was a lot of mines coming in and really kind of slaughtering this. He'll remove all the missile turrets and start to deal some damage. Like, Flash has to send extra units back to deal with this. So it is kind of annoying, but that was a lot of dead units to mines.
Okay, he's going to go for his second recall here. Okay, this is pretty crazy. Second Arbiter will come in, is it not? It has the energy.
Yeah, if he does, then he's going to kill all the production. Flash is not sending enough back to deal with another one. Can be hard to hit a moving target here. That science vessel looking all over for the Arbiter. Another one in the main base, so he should be fine against that now. Another move out towards that third, but Mong has a ton of units moving up. He definitely can deal with that small army.
Okay, he's coming up now. He needs to win this fight. Keep in mind, Terran is not exactly wiping bases off the map here. And because of that...
He's not getting anything done with these armies, really. He's trying to be efficient against these Zealots. If he can clear them, he can clear everything else, but no real micro here, and this will get cleaned up by Mong.
Yep, he does manage to save this base. The Nexus as well, not just the location.
Well, that's really what he has to keep doing. Flash is mining out, right? Like, he doesn't have his 4th base right now, and that is a huge problem for him.
But it's this funny thing that happens in TVP where eventually Terran is just mining off of 1 base and Protoss is mining off of 4, but Terran can still kind of win because they've got the upgrades, they have enough science vessels. They've ideally not lost too many of their tanks. I would say Flash score is pretty low for keeping tanks alive in this game.
Oh, yeah. He's
actually,
lost
this whole
a huge
series,
amount.
to be honest.
He's been very aggressive a number of times, and it hasn't always worked out for him. And Mong, like, this is all kind of playing into his hands right now. He is in the middle of the map. Flash trying to make a powerful move. He's taking that 4th towards the top left.
Okay, he's taken that base. Now, if Mong can wipe out this base at the top left, you can slowly dry up the Terran. You just can't make any mistakes while you're in the process of doing it.
There's some mines being set up just in case of a recall. 2 Arbiters ready to do such. Rest of the army moving across. He has a lot of Arbiters right now.
All right, gunning down some more of these units. They have to relocate. Remember, retreating in Brood War is a lot harder than it is in StarCraft 2 because you have all these different control groups. Looks like he's going to lose that Arbiter. Oh, my God.
That's his second time it got away just like that.
I know. The Arbiter is a risk taker.
It's getting some decent stasises off.
Definitely the kind of Arbiter that likes to go skydiving and stuff like that, Needs to feel the rush. I let all my shields go away, then I run away at the last second.
I hate it, though, when Arbiters brag about doing things like skydiving. I'm like, you're a flying unit. This isn't even scary for you. Jumping out of a plane. Please, fly across the universe.
Okay, this attack, very important. But he's going to go for a recall instead. Boom!
All right, hitting that 4th base. The mines do go off and clear out quite a few Dragoons, but...
He needs to get the command center. That's so important.
And in fact, like, that might even be the main command center that floated up there, because that was lifted off.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So
and actually, it would be ideal to get the scanner here, too, because the scanner keeps getting energy even if there's nothing attached to it.
Well, I don't know if he'll be able to pick that off, but trying to kill off anything he can here before this all dies.
Now watch this. He's going to recall on top of the army.
Yeah, the EMP was already used. He could do that. No, I guess he's going to skip that with those Goliaths all walking in.
I find it hilarious that every time he recalls a shuttle with this fight, why does he have a shuttle recalling with this?
I don't know,
It makes no sense.
It's not like he has an army hockey.
Oh, sick!
Oh, wow. Mong with another great recall.
Needs to target down that command center.
Yeah.
And do it now.
This is going to leave Flash in a really tough place with just one command center if he gets it. Flash's army coming up. He's leaving all of his SCVs here to try to repair. In fact, that's screwing up a lot of the Dragoon AI, and he will not be able to snipe it. In fact, this did not work out for Mong this time.
But Flash is not mining right now. That's pretty huge. He's going to get more units to rally up here. And a 3rd Arbiter.
Oh my God, he is so serious about this.
He could just keep making Arbiters and technically just keep recalling, and he might end up wearing Flash out.
He killed an additional base, by the way. Flash did during all of this.
Oh yeah, he did.
So that's kind of a big deal, but Mong did expand down towards the bottom. Flash starting to move out through the center. The Arbiter still is in the top left, right? So he could hit another recall on the 3rd. But at this point, it's more about killing the army than anything else. This is all of Flash's mining base. You don't necessarily need to kill that. What you need to kill is the army that he can't replace.
Okay, here we go. Another recall!
All right. He definitely will get rid of it this time, at least.
Now, remember, guys, he doesn't have a scan in his main because he moved the command center. He only has a scan at his natural, which means that you can actually win if you just stasis the science vessel.
Yeah, but, you know, he has 2 vessels. They're just spread out a little bit right there.
If he can get the stasis off, though, he's got enough Arbiters. He's got enough. I mean, this is actually a game that Flash can lose. This is Mong's game to lose right now. The army is scary, yes, but Protoss still has enough production. All he has to do is take out this army. That's all he has to do.
And the thing is, he should be able to whittle that down, I would say.
Sick.
His bases are far enough apart. Looks like he wants to do a full frontal attack now and just kill off everything that Flash has.
The value that one Zealot got. Oh, no, he needs to go for it. He should do it.
Yeah, he really does need to get on top of all of this. He's losing all of his bases right now. Does throw down a stasis, so he'll get in very easily from here.
Keep in mind, he's not producing. So he could actually get up here and kill the factories. This is a game that Mong could win. Mong could actually pull this off.
Yeah.
There's not going to be any more scans. He's going to be completely dependent. And Flash, in a split decision, 3 science vessels, by the way, is going to head down and try to take out the main base here.
We are just going full base trade at the moment. Like, Flash has, he's just going to have to float away some buildings, I guess.
Nice.
Oh, my God. You got to be kidding me. Got both the Arbiters with that EMP. A masterful EMP. Mong even tried to split. And with the units he has left over here, he is not going to hold on against this army. This base is absolutely toast.
He needs to actually rotate around. Now, we don't know how many minerals Mong has, but he might be able to make it to their Nexus. You can also, as weird as this sounds, guys, stay with me, you can actually take another, like, upper left base, for instance, and just keep stasising the ramp and mining from it, and Terran can't do anything as well. You can keep them. You can keep them from actually getting up there.
Well, a lot of EMPs are going off on these Arbiters, so he's trying to prevent moves like this. Like, look,
you know what he's going to do?
Slowing him down
the Arbiters are just going to shoot down the vessel. Look at this.
Oh my God.
Look at
this.
this.
Takes forever, but it is real.
Yeah, you can do this.
Like,
oh my God.
Like, okay, that one Goliath can, the 3 Goliaths together can kill all these Arbiters very easily if they get down there, but he needs to get them down there right now. Some units are in between.
He needs to get these science vessels. He has to do just that.
This is a wild game right now, Taste.
This is crazy.
Watching Mong try to claw this one out.
Okay, command center moving up here, but nothing to defend it. The army for Terran is just out, excuse me, on the Protoss side of the map.
This is the type of situation as well where I feel like Flash shouldn't use his scans. Because then that tells that he's landed at a scanner. Well, he's about to land at a scanner.
Oh, that's right.
This is this funny thing where, like, you don't even want Mong to know about this, because then maybe he goes over and kills it. All right, has to cancel that Nexus. So he does have the money for a Nexus.
You would think he would at least try to get one stasis on those vessels.
Dude, this is kind of wild.
This is a crazy
With the amount of like energy that he should have between all these arbiters, he has to be able to win this.
I think
he
so,
has to
right?
be able to fly in one at a time, hit a couple stasis, and then crush what's left.
He's going to go back. He's going to try to wipe out the Protoss army that's in the middle of the map. There are enough probes hidden everywhere. I believe he has enough minerals too. Now, see, the thing is, he does not want to bunch these arbiters like this. This is exactly what
Flash is
Terran
looking
wants.
for that.
Yeah. Okay, kills off a huge number of these
Oh,
probes.
man. Mong's economy is 0 right now.
Okay, he's going to try to come up here.
Yeah, he just needs to spread his arbiters out and get something done. Here we go. They start coming up from every side. A nice stasis does go off, and with the rest of them coming up, he is going to erase this. And Mong wins.
Mong takes game 3.
Ooh.
Oh!
All right.
Nice!
That's pretty impressive after the 2 games that he just had where it felt like he was ahead at times and then ended up losing to win this one. I mean, he's finally given us a series here, Jason.
And you know what? He kept consistent with the play style he had. He can do it.
Yeah.
Now Mong is 5-26 against Flash, guys.
Yeah, I guess that is
the nod, the head nod. He saw it. He knows.
Indeed.
It's so funny.
I think that must be a famous streamer. I can't think of who that is. He might be like an old StarCraft 1 guy.
I'm not sure.
Anyways.
Wow, good job, Mong.
Yeah.
He still got a shot.
That's really cool that he won that game because, again, let's not forget, especially in game 1, like Mong was ahead at times.
Yeah.
Maybe he can pull it back. This should build on his confidence and erode a little bit of Flashes.
Man, okay, we're going to game 4. Great.
Yeah.
You know, when you have that many arbiters, guys, if you do start to trade bases, arbiters have too many tools at their disposal. I mean, the fact that you can just cloak the army alone is scary, but the fact that you can start to stasis stuff, get a few of those tanks, and you have chopped up the Terran army to such a way where you can win.
He definitely made a lot better moves this game, and I definitely want to give him sick props because Flash was sewn up tight except for the top of his third. That was the only weak point. He found it. He recalled. That's where the game started to go towards Mong, where you got that opening and just kept pounding into Flash time after time.
Beautiful game there by Mong. All right, let's see what we've got here from Mong in game 3. And that was a straight-up game, by the way. That's not easy to win against Flash. You're like, no, he expoed, took a third. I win arbiters.
Yeah, it's not like he got a bunch of SCVs early on and Flash was behind for the whole game. So
in fact, he went for that early Reaver and didn't really do anything with it. So Mong, in some ways, was behind.
He's playing pretty well overall.
Yeah. I don't know if he's going to win, but
probably not.
We'll see. We're going to go to a short break. When we come back, game number 4 here with Flash versus I Am Mong.
Smokestack blowing, there's a fire in the sky. Fahrenheit rising up higher than high. Pressure's building up, sparks are gonna fly. I know where this is going when I look into your eyes. I know where this is going when I look into your eyes. Sweat's rolling down the middle of your spine. Bodies move together, perfect rhythm and
로드 모바일이라고 들어보셨습니까? 다른 사람들이랑 막 싸울 수도 있어요. 우리끼리 막 협동해가지고 싸울 수도 있어요. 서로 막 도와주고 시기 물고기. 쩔었다 이거. 이렇게 스킬도 쓸 수 있어요. 싸울 수 있어. 이게 핸드폰 게임이야? 뭐 언제까지 줘? 제발! 아 내가 훨씬 많아 이거. 공급 도대체 어디서 나오는 거야 얘네들? 둘보단 셋이 낫지 않습니까? 지금 플레이스토어에서 설치하세요.
부산지도 아닙니까 이거?
와, 7군데를 다 돌 거예요. 1번부터 7번까지 취득을 해서 시청자분들한테 나눠줄 수 있어요.
아 자갈시장 도쿄 도착했어요. 자갈시장. 오우 자 나오세요. 자 가면서 나오시고 2시간. 야 이겼다. 이번엔 이겼어. 그럼 한번 어서. 바깥으로 나가야 될 것 같은데 일단. 클래스 있다면 4번. 아 좋아요. 타이페이죠 타이페이. 광안리.
괌이다.
괌. 야 이건 크다. 부산 분들 위주로 좀 드리면 될 것 같아요 내장. 오.
둘이서 쓸 수 있어. 귀엽지 않아요? 여러분? 오. 된다. 된다. 안녕. 붕어빵 사세요. 그거를 한번 볼까? 지금 나 혼자 신난 거니 혹시? 이거 귀엽다. 찍어도 되나? 진짜 예쁘다 근데.
Looks like Flash is mortal after all. He was beaten in Game 3, but can Mom do it 2 more times? That's a pretty tall order.
It truly is. I mean, the thing is, though, we have to take into consideration Game 1, he definitely had an edge. There was some moments of brilliance from Mong in Game 2 as well. And if he could just fix some of these small things that we're seeing, well, I guess they aren't super small, but some of the places where he's throwing away army or like not sniping things that he could. Sometimes it seems like he's being a little bit too passive.
Yeah.
Like you've gotta really get your hands dirty to beat Flash.
Will Mong stick with his style, kind of cross-directional tech patterns, ending up at abruptly at Arbiters, a lot of times before at third base, and then just trying to muscle his way onto the map and abuse recalls with the number of Arbiters that he's pulled later on. If you note, it's not the first recall that's starting to hurt Mong. It's like the third or the fourth. He eventually was recalling so many times. Flash is not leaving his base.
Yeah, and
if Flash does leave his base, he loses.
It turns into a base trade like what we just saw, and Mong was able to peel that one out.
Protoss tend to be favored in base trades PvT.
Yeah.
By a pretty good margin, actually.
Terran armies do get whittled down. Like, if you lose your production as Terran, generally, it's pretty much game over for you. You need to be able to reinforce. Because the thing is, things like vultures, they die. And then when you don't have vultures, you have nothing. Like, you need some sort of buffering in front of those siege tanks.
All right. What exactly is Mong going to do? I mean, Flash, I feel like we already know, right? He's going to get a second base stuff. He's going to decide whether or not to push. But I think really it's up to Mong to see how this game, what direction it should take.
Well, it could be time for something such as a proxy gate, maybe some Zealot pressure here. But these Flash has fantastic micros, so if you don't do anything with it, you could be in trouble going into the mid game.
Get ready. This is game number 4. If it bleeds, you can kill it. Let's see if Mong can take down Flash one more time. 'Cause I've had enough. You notice he has a water there now?
Oh, man.
He drank all that Bakari sweat.
You hadn't planned on drinking water.
This noob is making me drink water? All right, in the upper right, in the purple, it's Flash. And in the bottom left, in the red, the color of blood. It's I am Mong.
Flash's blood from the previous
Flash's
game.
blood.
Protoss, do they even
the
have
color
blood?
of tomatoes.
I don't even know if Protoss have blood.
No, they seem to like kind of fume and die.
Well, isn't that them actually being warped back to Ire? They don't actually die, but they go back to Ire, I think.
No, it sounds pretty OP if that's the case.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Well, I think Zealots go back to Ire. But isn't it dead Zealots that are in Dragoons? So how does that work?
I don't know. I guess they have souls.
I'm not good at the lore.
Yeah. We were not much for the single-player guys. Multiplayer people here.
Where my multiplayer bros at?
Yeah, man.
Oh, yeah. Here, watching the stream.
That's right.
This is esports.
That's right. They don't know the names of all the planets.
You don't? Char. Korhal.
See? Yeah. Oh, my God.
Ire. Shakuras.
Uh-huh. Go on. Maybe that's all the planets in the game. What is the planets with the guys who want essence? We need more essence.
Oh, no. Yeah, the Zerg planet. What was that one?
Felt like the expansion.
Primal Zerg
the
lived
expansion
there.
The Heart of the Swarm had about the same level in the story as like Prometheus, the movie, did or something. Like,
you know they're coming out with like Prometheus too.
I think it's called Alien. It's not called
kind of Alien name.
Yeah,
but it is. It's like the sequel to that one, I believe, isn't it?
It's possible
because that's actually a prequel, and then I think that's what it is.
I didn't like that they did that. They're like, let's find out where the aliens came from. I'm like, you know what? I don't need to know all of it. Okay.
I would have been okay with it if it was a slightly better movie, but
yeah.
I mean, whatever. There was good parts in it.
Let's just be quiet now until something happens.
That's it.
I'm not going to talk for a little bit. Looks like the probes come up here. Again, this map, somewhat similar to some of our other maps, in that carriers are just a bit unwise.
I think carriers are better here than a lot of the other maps that we've been on tonight.
Yeah, you know what? They are a little bit better. But I would not say this is like, you got to go carriers on this map.
I wouldn't mind him mixing it up and doing such, though. You know, if you can kind of sneak it in there. Flash has been going and macroing kind of passively. And Mong has mixed it up enough that I think Flash won't quite know what's going on.
He got a gate nexus? Okay.
Yeah.
He like gets to his opponent's base. He's like, oh my God, he's not Zerg. Oh, how can I screw this up? I just played 3 games in front of all these people. He makes a forge anyways. He's like, look, I got to stick with the build. If Flash
He's like, I need +1 attack on these zealots.
If Flash counters me with 8 lings, I'm going to lose this game immediately.
Indeed. Throw a couple cannons down.
Yeah.
Flash tries to attack with vultures. Like, oh no. Pulls his SCVs and stuff.
Yeah. So
cannons wreck SCVs.
What? Yeah, they really do. What he wants to do with the Zealot, in case you're wondering why he's doing a build like this that looks like it's not the right build for this matchup, it's actually pretty good because Flash is making the command center on the low ground. He can actually pressure with the Zealot and the probe. Thing is,
now look at this micro. Ooh.
Oh my God, he's so good.
Oh, that one was so good. Oh, a little bit of slop. All right. That was really fantastic micro by Flash. So that's really hard, guys.
Yeah. Basically bounced that Zealot right out of his base.
Yeah.
Get back here. Use your
machine guns. Too. So it's totally out of here.
He's like running. He's like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. just doing my job.
You killed our friend. You killed my probe. A probe is a Roomba.
Well, from here, what do you do? I mean, part of me, if this was like, like 10 years ago, I'd be like, maybe Protoss is supposed to expand again, but it seems like all the Protosses now immediately tech up and start getting their tools. They don't make too many bases, but there was a time when Protoss would really quickly slip out third bases.
Yeah, you'd take a very, very fast third. He is getting range and throwing down that second gate. It could look similar to Game 1 where he gets a little bit of range Dragoon pressure, force that siege mode, and maybe even if Flash is a little bit too aggressive moving out, snipe a couple tanks.
SCV that's scouting is still alive in this game. Is he actually going to take a third?
Ooh.
Sneaky beaky.
Maybe kind of checking out. You want to make sure that he's not running any units behind up there. Got to know ahead of time. If they just appear there, you're going to be in a lot of trouble.
Oh, Zealot was gunned down.
Yeah, I did hear a death of Zealot somewhere there. Dragoon does hunt down this SCV, so that'll be lights out for Flash for a little bit.
No third Nexus yet. It's possible, as Artosis said, he just planted that up there. The pylon up there is a spotter.
Yeah.
We don't have too many more gates. I believe it's one more gateway coming here. Note the pylon position is spread out as such that Protoss can basically see everything in his territory, in his quadrant of the map.
He's got a pretty good spread right now, and Flash just kind of macroing up. The beginning of StarCraft 1, we have some very interesting things like a Zealot running in, the micro against that, a little bit about the scouting of SCVs and stuff, and then it goes quiet for a bit. It's a little bit slower paced in the early game, and that's kind of the place that we're at right now.
This, in some ways, looks a little bit more like older PvT. Terran was very turtley, and Protoss was kind of like Zerg almost, just taking lots of bases, getting the minimum. In this case, Dragoons instead of Lings if you're Zerg, to defend anything.
Yeah, I prefer this, to be honest, like what I'm seeing from Mong. Like, the fact that this has been a bunker expand, those Marines do not scale, like, even if they come to battle the Protoss a little bit later on. As long as he just kind of macros, he'll be fine in the mid-game against any pushes.
Okay,
now, if he tries to tech up as well as take the third base, that's where Flash could catch him if he does something like a 4-fact.
Okay, well, we might have exactly that. 4 facts, yeah.
We'll see what Mong is doing. But if you like go into like 6 gates and get your Citadel, you're generally just going to hold this push.
Usually, Protoss will get a shuttle here along with some observers, and the shuttle is really important to drop the Zealots on there. You can, I'm not endorsing it, but we have seen it before. You can get 2 shuttles sometimes to try to fight this, where you're just dropping on top of the tanks so that no matter what, the tanks can't be abused in siege mode. And it looks like that 4-factory push with a very late eBay, I don't believe it's even been made yet, is about to happen.
Yeah, it's pretty aggro, and it's actually, this is a great time for it as well. He even took SCVs off of his natural gas, because the reason he got 2 machine shops here is to make sure he could get all of the upgrades that he needs, speed mines and siege mode. It's less about rallying in siege tanks. You're going to be rallying in almost pure vulture off of this.
That's right. So every siege tank is precious. You need to keep every siege tank alive for as long as possible.
Now, this spread of Mong of buildings is actually really good because he's going to see this coming before it's on his doorstep, which is so unbelievably important. But look at this. The Vulture's actually running in down south. I love this move by Flash right now. Trying to run in these Vultures, and he's going to be able to.
He can also plant mines here and cut off the reinforcements.
Oh!
Gateway wall.
That is so sick.
So good. He's going to take out these Vultures. He can cancel the gateway. But with his tanks up here at the north, it's just going to be too much for the Protoss to deal with.
Well, he's got a lot of units actually flowing up right now. He can't cancel that gateway and continue to rally out.
By the way,
the Vultures coming, though, are a big problem.
Those Marines that absorb the extra Dragoon shots are actually pretty important. Now it's up to these Vultures that are going to be rallied in to keep tanking so the tanks can deal the damage over here at the front.
Those mines adding a lot of hits that Dragoons have to fire as well. There is a single mine. If he runs into that, he's in a lot of trouble. More Vultures coming, so the Probe's coming out to fight as well. Well, run away, I guess. I thought he was going to flank there for a moment. But
only 2 Probes survived that.
Rough.
Okay, now he needs to be really careful. Zealot legs, he has a Citadel, right? Am I crazy?
I haven't seen the Citadel. He is up to 6 gates, though, so he might be able to break out, but the minefield is really scary. It looks like he's going to lose this 3rd Nexus, because he has to go like right now if he wants to save it.
Yep, he's just repairing these tanks. He's actually going to target this down with the Vultures. Now, Terran needs to pick up and leave.
Yeah.
I don't believe you want to go for a kill here.
Yeah, no, it's okay if you don't kill him. And in fact, even if you lost your siege tanks, you're not going to probably lose the game over that. You can kind of like trade these out to maximize the minefield possibly.
Oh, you know what he's doing? He's going to go around to the top.
Yeah, that's so annoying.
This is actually really hard to deal with, especially even with the shuttles, if he has the Zealots just on top of the tanks. Or the Vultures on top of the tanks.
Well, if he actually has the Range Dragoons just sit right at the bottom here, could clear it pretty quick, but he's actually very slow to get into position. He needed to move right up against this. Going to go up and drop some Zealots? Okay, he does drop them, but all that's doing is using Vulture shots.
Yeah.
These siege tanks are targeting down on the Dragoons. Like, Flash is like way outplaying him right now.
Yeah, in fact, this game could end in a little bit here if Protoss is able to do something. Now you can see that Dragoons don't always connect with their shots there.
Yeah.
So a lot of these Dragoons are just going to go down. He's dropping Dragoons up here. However, there's more Vultures now coming in over here, planting mines and locking out those Dragoons.
Yeah, he is super duper dead
so
right
dead,
now.
Man.
This was so efficient by Flash that it doesn't even make sense. Like, this is like, we saw some great moves by Mong, like blocking off that Vulture run by, but was completely unable to break the push. And then very sloppy as he moved up to the high ground. He saw him moving there, and he didn't pre-move the Dragoons over to where they actually needed to be to snipe siege tanks.
Starting to wipe out all of these remaining units over here. I mean, this is just not boding well here. It's not even done. I mean, the abuse continues.
Yeah.
He's actually still killing off workers. I don't even know what the worker count would be at this point in time. You know what? Terran does not even have to let up if he doesn't want to. He can keep pushing here. Because right now, Protoss has not been able to break outside of his own base.
Yeah.
He's still kind of contained.
I mean, his probe saturation isn't even good for 2 bases, which is a crazy thing considering he used to have 3. And like, Flash is in such utter complete control. it's hard to think of what Mong needs to do to come back here, to be honest.
Yeah, and if you notice, he now has enough minerals. He's not making more tanks. He's making more factories.
Yeah.
Probably mining more gas at this point in time. He's just going to have a big-ass army and end this game.
Yeah. Like, that's the thing. You can't kill the army, and, like, cloaked units won't pull it off. You absolutely don't have time to get carries. Just seeing how many factories are here, Mong is looking at this and saying, okay, he's attacking me very soon.
Yeah.
When these all do a couple rounds of vultures, you can just attack across this map, and Mong will not have enough.
This is such a good play here by Flash.
Yeah,
now,
this
this
is ridiculous
push would not have worked like this if it wasn't on this map. It really exemplifies the strength of trying to push up that ledge. I mean, how many Dragoons were actually killed there? He had like almost his entire army trying to get up there.
Losing the third base was not the death blow. It was really the 2 tanks on the high ground.
Yeah.
It was, and then like he's dropping Zealots into Vultures that are waiting to fire on them.
Yeah.
Which did 0. Like 0-0. Really tough. Mong just did not deal with that as well as he needed to, which was perfectly. That's
now,
like what he needed.
I don't know if it's necessary for Flash to push out. He might have wanted to wait for the Nexus to finish here for a guaranteed kill because there's a shuttle, a speed Zealots, and a good amount of Vultures. So, you know, if he screws up this attack, that's one way that Mong can actually come back to this game.
Flash has like 8 facts though. So if he's rallying in 8 Vultures at a time, like.
Yeah, how are you ever going to lose your tanks?
The Zealots won't do anything. You can just unsiege the tanks and like use this as a Protoss army and attack with it.
Yeah.
Like this is just so strong.
He doesn't have to use siege mode here.
Yeah.
He's just going to nullify any advantage that that shuttle would have given him.
Okay,
So he's going to
siege up a few.
Yep, right in the front. That's going to give him room to get on the bridge. Sorry, go ahead, Artosis.
No, he was saying exactly what you were saying. It's just he's pushing him back a little bit so he can get over the bridge. Like, you see these drops not really doing much. Flash can spam stop on the siege tanks or unsiege them, whatever he wants. Like, even if you get some good Zealot bombs, that's not going to be enough because Flash's macro is super out of control right now for where this game's at.
Tanks continuing to edge in here. They are in range of the Nexus. He's going to look for an angle to try to come in here and hit and drop these Zealots on here. But so far, no dice. He does not see an opening.
Yeah.
And now he's in range of the Nexus, so the drop should happen here.
Okay, those are some good Zealot drops right there. Drawing some tank fire. Flash trying to target as best he can. Zealot's speeding up from those gateways, but he can't even get on top of him with this many Vultures.
Yeah, we should see GG here. This game is effectively over as Flash has done it. 3-1 victory. Congratulations to Flash.
Yeah, very well done there by Flash. So good on him. That was a super strong victory, though. Like, that move out was fantastic to hit the third base. Mong was just not ready for it. The speed of that with that many siege tanks and the Vultures rallying in. But again, like we've been talking about, that push onto the high ground. Ooh, that was brutal.
Flash has done it, guys. Congratulations to him.
Yeah, he's in the round of
final four.
And that should be in a seed for the next season as well, which is a pretty big deal.
I want to point out, guys, Mong did a really good job in that series.
Yeah.
I mean, you really got to give your respect to Mong. I know that he was kind of the underrated player, probably the one player people were least excited about to see here.
Yeah.
And you know what? He went 1-3 against Flash, and in some of those games, it was very close. This guy really deserves our respect. He was well prepared. He didn't play a best of the 5 the way I thought you should play it, but who gives a damn what I think?
No,
I am nothing but a lowly scumbag caster.
Well, I mean, Mong did play really well. And you know what? Like, with this level of skill, I have almost no doubt he'll be in the next season.
이변이 많은
onto the interview.
8강에서 최종 승리자가 됐습니다. 4강 진출을 하셨는데
There were a lot of
소감이
upsets in the round of 8, but
어떠신가요?
not tonight.
일단 4강
Flash is advanced. How do you feel? Yes, I'm very happy I advanced to the semifinals.
좀 오늘 마음에 안 들어가지고 다음 4강 때까지 경기력.
I don't feel like I played my best today, even though I won. I'm going to train even harder for the next semifinal match
좀
and
편안하게
be more
승리를
perfect
따내지
in my
못했기
play.
때문에 그런 생각을 아닌가 싶은데요. 1, 2세트 때 어렸던 부분이 언제쯤이었습니까?
1세트는 일단 제가 계속 주도권이 없어가지고 수비적으로만 임하다가 사실 1세트는 되게 불리했어요.
First set, I played defensively.
가가지고 간신히 이겨가지고 이겼고 2세트 같은 경우에
I was able to win in the
그래도
larger
1세트도 마찬가지
engagements,
주도권이 뺏겼지만
and that just let me close the game out.
다행히 이길 수 있었어요.
예, 근데 세 번째 세트에서는 조금 당황했을 것 같아요.
네.
Tell us about the third set.
갑작스럽게 막 그 공격이 막 들어오고 리콜 쇼가 계속해서 이어지는데
네.
그때 어땠습니까?
일단
Mom did a lot of recalls at your base. What were your thoughts?
병력에 제가 조금만 집중했으면 거기서 사실 게임이 많이 기울었을 텐데.
I didn't really concentrate on my first attack. I lost a lot of units.
못 해가지고.
Overall, I just messed up my micro. I felt like I wasn't as focused as I should have been. And I think that was the reason I lost that set. And after that, I was able to recall inside my base many times.
콜에 몇 개 지으셨어요?
I'm not thrilled about the third set.
네 번째 마지막 맵.
하나도 안 지었어요. 네.
그러니까 콜의 구경을 프로토스와 테란인데 한 번도 못해서 초반에 그 3팩을 선택한 계기 어땠습니까? 그 김승현을 이걸로 한번 이겨보겠다.
He's pointing out that you didn't build any turrets throughout that last game.
심리전이었고요. 드랍십을 생각을 할 것 같았어요. 근데 역시나 승현이 형이 드랍십을 생각하고 있어가지고 정면을 찌르는 전략이었고요. 노터렛은 애초에 준비할 때
Yeah, Mong expected me to use my dropships a lot.
안 지었어요. 그래가지고 원래 컨셉이 그거였고 잘 먹혀 들어간 것 같아요.
마지막으로 지난번 그 뭐 연보성 선수가 태산이라고 얘기를
했는데
이용 선수는 테란을 어떻게 생각하십니까?
사실 뭐 되게 난감한 질문인데요. 제가 맨날 얘기했지만 저는 항상 노력은 배신 안 한다고 생각해가지고 전 여기 수술 자국이 있듯이 누구보다 진짜 열심히 했거든요. 그래서 뭐 그런 발언에 있어서는
He's showing his surgery marks.
개인의 생각이니까 별로.
He says this proves how much I practice. He had a carpal tunnel, by the way, guys.
제 생각이 있기 때문에.
You put in hard work and the rewards come later.
열심히 해가지고.
So true.
I think that's the reason why I'm the player I am and I've been successful for a long time. It's hard work.
열심히 항상 할 수 있도록 하겠습니다.
태사기라기보다는 염습으로 노력으로 읽어낸 결과이다.
네.
그런 말씀이시죠. 이제 4강에서 송병구 선수나 이재동 선수랑
So now you play either Stork or Jadon.
둘 중에
In
올라왔을
the round of 4, do you have any preference between those two?
뭐 둘 다 좋아하는 형이고 누가 됐든 명경이
I like both of them.
누가 올라오든
Honestly, I don't care who wins. I think I'm going to have a good match against either of them.
집중하도록 하겠습니다.
이영호 선수의 경기력 벌써부터
Most important thing is me winning and going to the finals.
팬분들께 응원해주신 팬분들 여기 굉장히 많거든요.
Any final comments to your fans, the people that came down here and the people online?
3대0으로 떨어지고 많이
Last season I got knocked out in the round of 8.
다행히 4강 간 거 같아요. 약속은 일단 지킨 거 같고.
But this season I'm here in the semifinals.
2명 남았는데
I'm happy I kept my promise to all my fans.
보이는 단계인 거 같고요.
Now I need to defeat just 2 more players to become the ASL champion.
감사합니다.
I'm going to do my best.
감사합니다. 이영호 선수 만나봤습니다. 그럼
Scary
오늘의
player
경기
right there.
결과를 다시 한번 화면으로
That's a mouse he
정리해볼까요?
killed with his own hands. I'm not going to talk. You talk.
No, that was great. That was great. Okay, so Flash wins 3-1. Killed the mouse with his own hands.
That's right.
But actually an electronical mouse. It's not
He
even
bit
alive.
the mouse's head off like some rock star with a snake at a concert.
Yeah. The Ozzy Osbourne of StarCraft.
That's right.
So, yeah, Flash advances the round of 4 kind of as expected. This guy is the favorite of the tournament, but it is not over yet, man. These are scary players that are left over, and on Tuesday we get to figure out who he'll fight in that round of 4.
This is kind of a dream match here, Stork versus Jaedong.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be tough for Stork. I think Jaedong's ZVP especially is really scary.
Yeah.
If we do have Jaedong versus Flash, oh!
Well, that's like
that will be so good.
In the entirety of esports, there is not anything like Flash versus Jaedong. It is the ultimate rivalry. So
But
that would be great to see.
Stork against Flash would be pretty dope too.
Oh my god, it would be insane. And of course, like whatever we have in the finals, like I'm kind of feeling a Best versus Flash finals, and let me tell you, like Best had maybe the scariest PVT in his prime. Like he is.
I think his
an
PVT is a lot
ultimate
better
player.
than Mong's. I think it's actually Stork's is good, but it's a little tricky. I don't know if it would work. Enough games to win a finals in the ASL.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens with that. I'm just stoked right now about Stork.
Yeah.
Stork versus Jaedong. That is such a crazy PVZ.
Two
Make
of the
sure
top
that you tell
4
everyone.
players of all time.
Oh man, you just got like they have such a history together as well.
Yeah. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. We have Monday off, but on Tuesday, we come back with that match for the ASL, Stork versus Jaedong, 7 p.m. KST. And on Wednesday, we have the GSL Code S, which is at 6:30 p.m. KST.
That's right.
I did it. I did it. Took me years of casting.
And don't forget the Bunker will be on as well. That's a
Le
half hour
Bunker.
before. Little show with me and Tasteless before GSL.
get to talk to us in the chat, hang out. Yeah.
Fun time.
Cool.
We have a good time.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us. We love you. Have a great morning, afternoon, or night, wherever you are.
And save the world. I really don't mind games. Save the world. Visions will still remain. Don't need to hear you cry. Then a piece of my heart will die. No matter how I try.